Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to Jason is a Social Scientist, the Bymouth Daily, pill number 214. We are back. Dang it to heck. Am I right? You're right, Jason. You are back. You are certainly back. Right at the last minute, I thought I was going to be going live from the page, Jason is a Social Scientist. But at the last minute here, something happened. Oh, I got logged back into my account. Yay! It's back! It's back! And even better, I've got weed again. I ran out of weed last night too. It was everything was really bad. Everything was really bad. Hey, David. Hey, I made it. I made it. Dang it, right there.
Okay.
Hey, David. Hey, I made it. I made it. Thank you, David. Hey, Tom and Jamie, Mr. and Mrs. Nice Troll. I gotta smoke a bowl. David was in such a rush to get me up here. My weed arrived and I didn't even have time to smoke it. I just had to get right up here. I gotta smoke a bowl. Space and Jason. Yo, yo, yo. So, I don't know what happened here. This is a whole nother separate issue. You know, like I did the show from my wife's account last night, and it's never happened before. And I've done some crazy things on my show. Her show, like the one I did on her timeline, it was removed for breaking community standards. I've never had a show like I've had shows. I have had my account blocked because of nudity. Of lots of other things, but I was in such good behavior because it was my wife's timeline, and I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Sophie, what are you doing in there? Are you hungry or something? Yeah, you need some food over here. New sack of weed. I might have, there's one person I'm suspicious of. It was my wife's time. Somebody probably is reporting me. There probably is, but I might have called this one on my own because I saw somebody that had blocked me on my other account, and I saw him on my wife's, and I'm like, I just couldn't help but make some snide comment, and I'm probably invited. He probably reported me on his way to blocking my wife. There's a snake in my boot. What? My wife picked up all my toys. There's a snake in my boot. What? Oh, I need socks now. My wife picked up all my toys. So I made it over to a friend's house today. I was in a really bad place today. Because I ended up. I don't know. Some of you might be aware. I was locked out because this phone was disconnected, and my Facebook account needed me to enter a confirmation code, and the confirmation code was being sent to my disconnected phone, and whatever. So I had to pay a pretty hefty bill to get it back online. But then, even after I got the phone reconnected, it wouldn't send me the code. I kept hitting resend code, resend code, resend code, and nothing would happen. at first I thought it was a problem with that, so I updated the carrier settings on the phone. I called US Cellular, seemed like everything, and I still couldn't get it. And I'd pretty much given up hope. I thought I was just waiting for my appeals from Facebook to come through, and I'm like, well, at least I have the phone number working and whatever. And then I tried to look at a message. I opened up the Groups app, and it gave me the opportunity to receive the code through a phone call. So I got the phone call, but that happened just a little while ago. Anyway, all's well that ends well. That's why life sucks. It never ends well. So I'm not going to share the show tonight. I'm just going to... What being locked out of my account for so long really made me realize is just like how fragile I have to go and download all the shows. And I pulled out my computer, and I'm just going to start downloading all the shows from the Book of Faith so they can't... Life sucks sometimes. I mean, like, sucking is subjective, I suppose, right? And life is what you make it, right? Or something? Life is how you suck it? It's true, everybody does have bad days. And I think even most people even have good days. So most people do. Not everyone has just good days. And there's probably somebody. If you want to be contradicted, the best way to do is just say always or never. What the heck? So yeah, I went over and visited a friend today. They're old friends. The first friends I made when I moved to Madison, and that was 20 years ago probably. But I hadn't seen them for about almost 10 years. But we've reconnected through the show, and I don't know when I knew them 10 years ago. I forget how old Ocean now. He was 9, I think, probably the last time I saw him. Now he's a man, right? A young man. And now I have little kids, and I don't know. I was their kid's godfather right now, and I don't know. I was just really touched today. Like, I've been spending more time over there, and they're just really good with my kids, and it's just nice to have support, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And Ange made me cry tonight because she's all, was like relishing the role of, like, what's the proxy grandparent, or proxy grandmother. And, I don't know, I really wish my parents were here for my kids, but it's nice to have somebody filling that role, because no one's filled that role their whole lives. I could go for some rolls. I really like drugs. I shouldn't, perhaps, but I do. I mean, let's face it, drugs make the world go round. coffee, tea, and soda are the three most popular beverages across the world. And what do they have in common? Well, not necessarily their good taste. It's the caffeine. It's the stimulant and whatever. I was reading an interesting article the other day that asserted that the pivot from the war on poverty, which was, began with FDR and the New Deal and Eisenhower, the Great Society, the idea that the social safety net. That's what the 20th century was all about. And in the late 20th century, we pivoted away from the war on poverty and went towards the war on drugs. And the war on drugs is, this article that I read was asserting that has led us to almost a third world country. I'm gonna clean tonight, I think. Maybe I'll start on the. I'm gonna redesign the upper part. I'm gonna install the carpeting. Maybe I'll start on the. I'm gonna redesign the upper part. I'm gonna install the carpeting. Good night, Carlos. I'll read you a bedtime story, Carlos. Good night, Carlos. Good night, Carlos. When life hands you lemons, what? You drink that lemonade? No. Put on a pair of rose-tinted sunglasses. When life hands you lemons. My rapist gave these to me, these sunglasses. I'm glad I have them now, so I have this, make this awkward joke about making the best of situations. I'm glad I have them. It's not much of a joke, really. It is awkward, though. To market, to market. To market, to market. to buy a fat pig. Home again, jiggity jig. To market, to buy a fat hog. Home again, jiggity jog. A version of this knee-trotting rhyme has been known since the early 17th century. Although this well-known version is comparatively modern. Hickety pickety, my black hen. Hi, Tiffany. I ended up coming. I got right after I said that I was going to go live. Good night, Carlos. By the way, right after I said I was going to go live on that page, Jason is a social scientist. The page, I got logged back into my main account, so here we are. Sorry, I didn't mean to mislead you there. Hickety pickety, my black hen. You're welcome, Carlos. Hickety pickety, my black hen. She lays eggs for gentlemen. Sometimes 9, sometimes 10. Hickety pickety, my black hen. This is probably a cleaner version of an older rhyme about Little Blue Betty, a lady of easy virtue. This is probably a cleaner version of an older rhyme about Little Blue Betty. Go outside, Sophie. A lady of easy virtue. Jiggity jog. It's funny, just on Mr. Rogers, Mr. Rogers was visiting an elderly black woman that was singing to children. I don't know who. He seemed to know her well, though. Like, it was like he didn't know who he was coming to visit, but when she was there, he's like, "Oh." Anyway, she was telling him to like run, stop, run, and then she said some jog, and she's like, "I didn't know the word jog when I was your age, but you kids, you guys will know what jog is, won't you?" I don't know. I did. I hit the vape. I'll hit it again. Time for communion. Let's get some incense burning for communionizing. I did. I hit the vape. I'll hit it again. Time for communion. Some incense burning for communionizing. Hey, Sophie. What are you doing? You're hunting for something. Naughty, for trouble. You're looking for trouble. Psst. Psst. Get out of there. I dig ladies of easy virtue too. I dig guys of easy virtue. I dig ladies of easy virtue too. I think guys of easy virtue. It's like sex and easy virtue. Like everybody likes sex, and you can. Is that what that is? Like, oh, she gets her value, or he gets his value from easily, because they. It's like sex and easy virtue. Like everybody likes sex. Hey, Tiffany. Is that what that is? Like, oh, she gets her value, or he gets his value from easily. Sex ain't easy. That shit can be work. Hey, bud lover. You guys make me happy. God, it was painful to be cut off from. Well, I mean, not just this show, but like all the like. I mean, I just like especially when I started to think, oh man, I'm never gonna get into that account again, am I? Like, I don't know, just all the pictures and the videos. Like, I mean. Some of it, a lot of it's backed up on my camera roll, but there was a time period I wasn't saving the shows because it was just, well, it wasn't working. A lot of it's backed up on my camera roll, but there was a time period I wasn't saving the shows because it was just, one day. Oh, vape. We gotta vape this shit. Baby. I need socks too. North Everett says, "What up?" I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Ritualistic. There's something I used to, I think because I associated ritual so strongly with religion, right? My religion was in my early years a source of boredom, and also like what else? More than boredom, and also like messages of like yeah, anyway, religion tried to teach me to hate myself. My mommy taught me to love myself, so it didn't work. But anyway, what? Why would I be talking about religion? Oh, and associating it. Yeah, so well, ritual is often also associated with authority too, and no one likes to be told what to do, but there's comfort in ritual for sure. Gotta keep your eye on the second skull back here. That's who we're gonna fix up. Gotta keep your eye on the second skull back here. That's who we're gonna fix up. Okay, you want to take my pill, Nate? Well, maybe when the next bottle comes. I only have 3 left in this one. Oh, that was the other problem. I was running a lot of difficulties of like filling my prescription today. Oh, that was the other problem. I was running a lot of difficulties of like filling my prescription today. I mean, I don't like to be critical. But my social worker is just not doing a good job. And it's hard to be critical, like, of like somebody dropping the ball that you're dropping yourself. Like, she's supposed to be like helping me hold my balls up in the air, right? And I'm not doing the best job at that. But like when you're not, but you know, it's not. I'm not working. You know, like I'm like this is not my job right now, right? And it's my life. And she's, I don't know, whatever. To pick up the energy a little bit. Let's play a record, a record. Let's try a new record for the night. Oh, I was going to reinstall the carpeting. Okay, this one's called Dear Hearts and Gentle People. Dear Hearts and Gentle People. Okay, this one's called Dear Hearts and Gentle People. Dear Hearts. Let's get a fresh needle. Let's get a fresh needle. I don't want to give my record AIDS. Okay. Let's get Can't catch AIDS, dummy. It's be HIV, and records can't catch HIV. You're terrible at jokes, Jason. Can't catch AIDS, dummy. It's HIV, and records can't catch HIV. You're terrible at jokes, Jason. Okay, where are the needles? Drink tag. Where are the needles? Drink tag. Let's just try it without. Oh well, we'll just do a quarter turn. Let's just try it without. Oh well, let's do a quarter turn. Oh. The other side is make believe. I like it.
There is a good book from time to Monday. That's how the weekend goes. I've got a dream house. I'll build there one day with picket fence and rambling road. I feel so welcome each time that I return, that my happy heart keeps laughing like a clown. I love the dear heart, the gentle
Time is dilating.
That's why I want the whole wide world to know. I love the heart, I love the people, because those dear hearts, gentle people, will never ever let you down. There is a good book from side to Monday. That's how the weekend goes. Try a dream, dream hard and trembling gold. I feel so welcome each time that I listen, and my happy heart keeps laughing like a clown. I love the dear heart. Gentle people who live in love in my hometown.
I agree. I hear Johnny Cash in there too, Coffer. Especially when it was slowing way down. bedtime story. Good night, Tiffany. On the 20th, it's big news, Crystal. Big news. It's exciting. I'm excited for you. On the 20th, it's big news, Crystal. Big news. It's exciting. I'm excited for you. Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's gone to sea. Silver buckles at his knee. He'll come back and marry me. Bonnie Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's fat and fair, combing down his yellow hair. He's my love forevermore. Bonnie Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's looking out. All his ribbons flew about. All the ladies gave a shout. Hey! For Bobby Shafto. Sir Walter Scott described this as an old Northumbrian ditty. The original Bobby Shafto is said to have lived at Hollybrook, Hollybrook, County Wicklow, and died in 1737. The last verse, however, refers to Robert Shafto of Whitworth Hall, near Durham, a parliamentary candidate in the 1761 elections, and said to be uncommonly handsome. Where do I want to go, Bud Lover? I want to go everywhere. I want to go nowhere. Where do I want to go, Bud Lover? I don't know. I want to go everywhere. Someplace safe. I want to go nowhere. With a T1 line. A long room with a fireplace on one end. Someplace safe. With a T1 line. And recreationally, something state. I don't know where all the good drugs are at. With a panic room, and outside of the tsunami evacuation zone. With a panic room, and outside of the tsunami evacuation. Crystal says, Jason is universe. He is everything and everyone. Everyone is me. Seppadoodle-doo. Deborah says, hey, Damien. Jack be nimble. Jack be nimble. Jack be quick. Jack jump over the candlestick. Sophie, what are you doing? Sophie's on the ramp. Oh, that she knows how to be on the ramp. She's just always on the ramp. Like, she used to be afraid of the ramp. I should have just left her afraid of the ramp. No, she just uses the ramp to get in trouble. Candle leaping has long been practiced in England, both as a sport and as a way of telling fortunes. It was believed that the person who could jump over a lighted candle placed in the center of a room without extinguishing the flame was assured of good luck for the following year. Do you have to go outside? Do you have to go outside? Placed in the center of a room without extinguishing the flame was assured of good luck for the following year. It was a popular custom, particularly among the lace makers of Wendover in Buckinghamshire on the feast day of their patron saint, St. Catherine, on November the 25th. No, candle leaping. It's a sport. It's better, way better than foosball or whatever. Your turn, Sophie. Go potty. Candle leaping. It's a sport. You don't have to keep track of all the home runs and whatnot in the foosball game. You don't have to keep track of all the home runs and one time in gym class, like I slam dunked a puck playing baskets. What? Just shut up, Jason. You're not even good at that joke. Now shut up. All right, here we go. Sophie, if you have to go outside, how did you know about the trampoline? Just shut up, Jason. You're not even good at that joke. Now shut up. Who told you about the trampoline? How did you know about the trampoline? Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I'd rather just be paranoid. Dance to your daddy. Dance to your daddy. I don't want to know. I'd rather just be paranoid. Dance to your daddy. My little babby. Dance to your daddy. Dance to your daddy. My little lamb. Dance to your daddy. You shall have a fishy. My little babby. And a little dishy. You shall have a fishy when the boat comes in. This dandling song is particularly popular in Scotland and the North Country, often with an additional verse. Baby shall have an apple. Baby shall have a plum. Baby shall have a rattle when daddy comes home. Often with an additional verse. Baby shall have an apple. Baby shall have a plum. An understudy. Baby shall have a rattle when daddy comes home. Oh, that sounds painful for probably everybody involved, but especially the understudy. Oh, that sounds painful for probably everybody involved, but especially the understudy. Oh my goodness. Oh, no apology. We're just glad you're here, Sienna. Sienna says, hello. Oh, sorry I'm late. Killer, get up, my man. Thanks. Thank you. No apology. We're just glad I've got matching underwear, too. Hello. Oh, sorry I'm late. I do. So what? It's just underwear. Get up, my man. Thank you. I've got matching underwear, too. Dang it, the heck? I gotta like drop my pants more. It's true. I mean, if I'm not gonna show nudity, I at least gotta like get people's hopes up. Drop my pants more. It's true. I mean, if I'm not gonna show nudity, I at least gotta like get people's hopes up. Do you have to go outside this time? Where are you? I don't trust this dog. Especially when I'm distracted. She's fine, but I'm just afraid. She's gonna pee on the floor again. I don't trust this dog. Especially when I'm distracted. She's fine, but I'm just afraid. She's gonna pee on the floor again. Okay, we gotta smoke some more. I'm fine. Where is he anyway? Okay, we gotta smoke some more. Jump, jumpy jump, 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 jumpy jump, 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 jumpy jump, 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 jump. Did I smell my fingers? I don't know. Was I smelling my armpit maybe? I have no idea. That's embarrassing. I wasn't doing that, I mean. You misunderstood. I've never smelled my hand. I wasn't doing that, I mean. I believe I did. I believe I have my meds ordered. I got a text message from Walgreens. Oh my goodness. I believe I did. I believe I have my meds ordered. It's my dealing with my HIV clinic, it really has been a comedy of errors, I think. I would say it's a comedy of errors. Maybe I just, like, I don't know. I'm a difficult person to work with, perhaps, too. That could be part of it. Maybe I just, like, I could help myself more. But dang. It's like, I kind of, like, wait till the last minute on things, but, like, just, like, bordering on malfeasance, like, lying to me about, like, and I don't know, fucking up my job and shit, you know, like, I mean, sure, they're my balls to drop. I said this earlier, like, you know, but, like, and so it's really hard to be critical, and I've held it in for a long time about, like, I never complained that she, like, didn't tell me that there was an extension on my short-term disability while I was inpatient in the unit. She said that there was no extension, and then I find out when I get my letter from my employer that, like, yeah, that she contacted him, got an extension, just never did anything about it. You know, like, I just didn't say anything because it was already too late, it's over with or whatever. I don't know. So then I have this new insurance, you know, and it's her job to, like, help, you know, and she offered to help me get my prescription ordered or whatever, right? And so I got the insurance information. I sent it with the phone number and everything else, like, you know, and I could have just done it myself, but I'm like, well, I don't know exactly how this works, because it's new insurance. I'm going to send it to her. And I sent her all the information, and she texts me back telling me that, like, well, first I have to enroll in this prescription, this Express Scripts or something, right? You know, like, you know, and I was new to it. My wife had already enrolled me. I didn't know that. That's, like, I had given her all the information, but she gives me back the wrong phone number, like I included the phone number that I'm supposed to call with my message, along with all the information that she was telling me I needed. And she sent, and then, so, like, I called that number, and I'm just to make, because I didn't know, and, like, you know, like, it's like my former employer, right? I don't know what the fuck she's doing, right? And then she sends me a third number that's wrong again, and I'm just like, well, you know, like, and I wasn't gonna, like, so I've been filling my prescription at the clinic's pharmacy, and, so the pharmacy has my prescription. I have refills on it. And so I asked her, like, can you make sure that Walgreens has it? You know, and she was like, it was 4 in the afternoon. I originally texted her, like, at 1:30 or something, and she was on her way out the door, and she told me that, oh, Walgreens already has that prescription, because I'm like, well, I'll just figure out this insurance thing. I just want to make sure once I get it figured out. And so then when I call, and she's like, oh, they have it. So then when I call the pharmacy, they don't have the prescription. And then it's after hours, and it's just like, and so then when I call, and she's like, oh, they have it. I don't know, like, they don't have the prescription. And another thing she did one time was, like, when I had my first viral blip, when I was in the psychiatric hospital, the time that she fucked up my job or whatever, or helped fuck up my job, I fucked it up myself, but, like, or I don't know. Let's not place blame. How about that? But except for, let's place blame everywhere but here. And then, and so when I was in the psychiatric hospital, a viewer of the show called, because of what I was saying. They were worried that I was, like, I might harm myself. I wouldn't make overt threats, suicidal threats on here, and I didn't, you know, I don't know, out of respect for you guys, I talk about my suicidal ideation, but I'm not going to put the weight of, like, my death on you guys, you know, and make you decide whether you should call for help from me or not. And it's okay to do, but, like, it's not something like sometimes that's your only choice of what to do. I'm not shaming, but it's just not something like, especially in this where I'm putting myself out there, and I don't like. It's just yeah, I don't think it's fair for me to do that. So it's anything's fair, but like I don't want to do that anyway. Somebody was nonetheless concerned, and so they called, and I was forced to go into the psychiatric hospital, and that was my first time, and I was thinking about going in anyway. I mean, I was distressed. I mean, that's like, don't get me wrong, but I didn't have a choice to go in, right? You can go back and watch Jason is a Social Scientist, the hospital edition. That's a ways back. January, it was my birthday, I think. January, it was the day before my birthday. And so anyway, they forced, but I didn't have the foresight to grab my medication on the way out the door. And so I was in, I didn't have access to my pills for 4 days. And at the end of that 4 days, I had my viral load tested. And I had a small viral blip. I'm getting back around to the social worker, right? Anyway, so like getting out of my viral load was 100, which is like barely detectable, but it's detectable, and it's the first. And it made me really concerned because I also about 2 weeks or 3 weeks earlier than that, I had sex with a person that was HIV positive, and I found out after we had sex that like they like had like kind of a poor history of treatment or whatever, and so then I'm like, so there were two variables. There was like I had sex with this person, and I didn't know if I was at risk. I'm paranoid, right? Like the chances that like that their like they would be carrying a virus that my medications couldn't treat would be very slim and whatever. Anyway, but still, I'm like, well, did I get super AIDS or something, right? I'm paranoid because this doesn't happen, right? This doesn't happen. There's like not documented cases. It's probably theoretically possible, but it just doesn't happen. And I'm paranoid because this doesn't happen, right? This doesn't happen. There's like not documented cases. It's probably theoretically possible, but it just doesn't happen. So like I was like, and it was super low. Like it was only like 100. So I'm like, it's probably because I missed these 4 doses. I couldn't take these 4 doses. So like, and I made an appointment with my social worker at the infectious disease clinic. And when I kind of explained to her what was going on, and I told her, and she's not a medical professional, right? And I'm like, oh, but like I trust, even though I was like pretty, I'm like, well, what I'm thinking makes sense or whatever, right? When I told her, well, I missed those 4 days, I'm like, you think that's enough? And she's like, no, that shouldn't be enough to like cause a viral blip. And I'm like, oh shit. It has nothing to do with that I missed those pills, and like I've got super AIDS, and I started sobbing and breaking down and whatever. And then she called, well, let me go get the nurse, and the nurse is like reassuring me, and it's like more like, oh, you're right, Jason, you don't have anything to worry about. And what how special do you think you are, Jason? Like that did not happen. Like what? You're crazy. And being paranoid can be bad too. But my point is like, so she like caused me a lot of emotional distress, speaking really out of turn, frankly, and I don't mind people speaking out of turn all day long, but you better know what you're talking about. Oh. She shouldn't be weighing in medical stuff at all, really. And I don't know. I don't trust doctors either. So I don't mean to make a logical fallacy of appeal to authority. Because certainly I make no appeals to authority. I do if they make me. But I don't make the logical fallacy with them, though. Yo, it's the drunken libertarian. Hey Nick, seriously, I really extra love you so very much. Well, thank you, Sophia. Thank you. Dylan says, swoop, swing. What? We gotta chillax a little bit here. I need to shave too. Like, it's like I'm getting the stubble, and it does start to look like Fear and Loathing in Wisconsin in here. I need to shave too. Like, it's like I'm getting the stubble, and it starts. Nice, Sohail. Nice. Hey, maybe we'll pull up your live broadcast and watch it. Dang it to heck. Hey, maybe we'll pull up your live broadcast and watch it. He said, don't listen to non-medical professionals. She was clear of biatch. You know, that's like the hardest part about her. She's like so nice. She's a pretty empathetic person. She's just like fairly incompetent. And I don't mean like it. You know, that's like the hardest. It took me a long like this last thing where like she sent me back wrong information. Like I sent her the right information, and she like told me like, oh, you still. I won't go over it again, but I don't know. And then the fact that she cost me like really, she could have helped save my job or helped like be a really instrumental in helping me get my short-term disability. She had the ability to. She was in communication with my employer and when I wasn't able to be, and maybe I should have been able to, you know, like pull myself up by the bootstraps and have done it, but like I don't know. And when I wasn't able to be, and I didn't say anything after that, like even though like, and then I think she either was mistaken or she lied to me, and that was like about having gotten the requesting the extension. Which? That's a pretty good sandwich place. About having gotten the requesting the extension. Oh. Which? That's a pretty good sandwich place. I mean, it's crazy to watch yourself slip through the cracks. Like, I shouldn't, you know, like I've always been able to avoid the cracks before. And because I can, you know, I don't know, I can navigate cracks. I'm a crack professional. But like right now, I really do feel disabled, and I see myself slipping through the cracks, and either I don't care enough, or I'm not able to navigate. I'm not, and I don't know. I can just see how other people fall through them, like because they. Oh my goodness! It's not a government program though. I mean, maybe in the very loosest sense, the University of Wisconsin Hospital. It's run like it's a for-profit hospital. And they call it but I don't know. It's run like it's a for-profit hospital. And they call it I don't know. If you do, pull me on there too, Nick. Well, she's she's a special kind of social worker, right? She works for the infectious disease clinic, the UW, like University of Wisconsin Hospital. They have a infectious disease clinic, a specialty HIV clinic, and within it they have, and like this is laudable, and I have to give credit out to. I'll just say her name. I'm not like a patient. I don't have to maintain confidentiality. Nora, she is she's the intake social worker. So everybody that's diagnosed with HIV that goes to the UW infectious disease clinic gets Nora for a year, and it's her job to make sure that people get on their meds, because it's really important to be on your meds. If you're on your meds, and she tells me this too, and if you're on your meds, that's how you protect the people you care about. That's how you protect your family. That's how you protect your sexual partners. That's how you protect like me, and that's how I protect my patients. That's how I because by taking the medication every day, I'm not contagious, and even if I have sex bareback with someone, I assume they haven't done the studies about sharing needles, but I assume the risk is probably similar, because there's no virus in my blood. There's no virus in my semen that our fanciest tests can detect. And when your viral load is undetectable, U equals U, hashtag U equals U. That means you're not contagious. Anyway, so yeah, that's where I have to really give UW Infectious Disease Clinic a lot of credit. Is they have these, like most infectious disease clinics don't give every patient a social worker, and the social worker, Nora is so exceptional at her job. Because I'm notorious about not answering phone calls, not answering texts. Until this show, I was completely antisocial and almost completely isolated from everyone. She would send me she sent me a letter in the mail, like a card, just saying, I'm just thinking about you, Jason. And she never pressure, she never even asked about the meds, just checking in, Jason, how you doing? And send you anytime I would want to meet with her. I never did want to, but she'd cab me to coffee place and buy me coffee, and we could meet and talk whenever. And it was really sad when I had to let her go, right? Because after a year, if as long as you're on your meds, you get a different social worker, and I got a different social worker, and she is really nice. She does have the personality. I don't know. And I shouldn't know this, but she had some personal stressors with her own family and whatnot. And I don't know. Whatever. And and it's not just her. Nora was the only good thing in that clinic, right? Other than they did give me the medications I need to keep me alive, but I don't know. It's like going to McDonald's menu, though. It's not like it's rocket science. They did give me the medications I needed to keep me alive. And they left me for a full year, thinking I was either crazy, really unlucky, or most likely both. Because they left me for a full year. What did they do to it? The whole reason I got tested for HIV in the first place, the reason I went to get tested, is because I was getting unusual infections. I had Giardia lambia, Giardiasis or something. I forget it. ISIS. It's ISIS in your gut, I tell you what. And what else? And then I got angular cheilitis, which is like yeast in the corner of your lips. And I'm like, well, that's weird too. And then I caught hand, foot, and mouth disease from my son, which I'd never, hand, foot, and mouth disease is common for toddlers, and it's possible that adults get it, but it's not likely. And just all those things together, I'm like, well, what the hell? I'm gonna go get tested. This was August of 2015. I last tested negative for HIV in January of 2015, and so in that 6-8 months, I had gotten those 3 infections, and it just was unusual. And so then I came back, HIV, HIV positive, and then even after that, like I came, like, so I didn't have sex with anybody after I was diagnosed with HIV for not, I don't remember how long it was exactly, but I stopped being promiscuous and I lost a lot of my sex drive, and I still have a lot of negative associations with sex. But there was a person in my life that sort of became, like, swooped in out of nowhere, like, sort of became like a benefactor of sorts, gave me a place to stay when things were rocky here. Acquaintance, it had been a one-night stand years and years prior, and so I started staying with him, and because of proximity and I don't know, I felt almost like a sense of like I owed this person something too. We started having sex, and like, of course, the first person that I had sex with after being diagnosed with HIV, I contracted herpes from, and that's and it makes a lot of sense now that I know that herpes, like yeast, like other stomach and skin infections, are all part of a cluster of symptoms that people with HIV can have. There's something called symptomatic HIV, but when I was first diagnosed, like I was explaining, I was having all these things, like, because then since then I've had yeast infection in my nose, I had a yeast infection in the wound on my penis, I had CMV, cytomegalovirus, which is another herpes-related virus, but that one's spread more like chickenpox, like it's more contagious. I got that's another thing that can cause mononucleosis. I got all, and my physician's assistant, the infectious disease clinic, they kept telling me, it's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence. Your immune system's always been fine. I saw your questions, Sienna, and the difference between HIV and AIDS is, and they told me that, I never got anywhere near AIDS. So when I was, like I said, my last negative test was in January of 2015, and my first positive test was in August of 2015, so 8 months or whatever. And so not very long. And my physician's assistant, when I came in, she said, "Wow, I never see people with labs this good." What they measure for HIV is your CD4 count. CD4 is like, I don't know, they're like T cells, like they're the killer cells in your immune system. They're a type of white blood cell, and they're formed to create and destroy infections. And if like they do a count on that in your blood, and if that number, the count on that goes below 200, that's like the definition for AIDS. You go below, and then and mine was 1200. So I never got anywhere close to. And so she kept pointing to that, like your immune system was never compromised. So and so I just, but then I kept getting these infections, and I just was like, I was doing a lot of my own research, and through my job, I'm a nurse, so like I worked at a hospital, so I had access to their medical library and their online medical library, and there's Up to Date is this amazing website, and I'm just reading about the course of HIV, and there's something like no one told me this, like, and they should know this, that there's something called symptomatic HIV, and there was a table with a list of infections, like what non-AIDS defining infections in symptomatic HIV, and it was so a list, and yeast, herpes, like, so that's plain, the cytomegalovirus, the angular cheilitis, the yeast infection in my nose, like the herpes on my ass, like the CMV is the herpes related, like airborne contagious virus, like probably the Giardia, like that wasn't listed in there, but I think that might be related to the same cluster too. It's just less common, so maybe And it would just been really comforting to know that, like, and I know I'm not the only one that experiences this shit. Like, not everybody gets symptomatic HIV, but I can't be the only one. It just like really frustrates me that they let me think that for a year, just like and I was just bringing them all this information, like, well, that could trigger like people just think they know everything, God, the certainty in your own knowledge is the most dangerous. Like, I don't know is the most intelligent words you'll ever hear. If somebody says they don't know, trust that person, because it's a difficult thing to admit. But the being brave enough to do that, even though it's difficult, shows that the person really cares about whether they give you the right answer or not. Thank you. Shows that the person really cares about whether they give you the right answer or not. What else? Oh, and so this like with my own research, because I also do, like, when I was working, I don't do it as much anymore, just because when I was working, I like to spend my time like when I was getting paid to do bullshit things like read. Like when I'm got my own time, I just sit around and Facebook or something. But like, I don't know, when I was forced to sit in front of a computer at work, I'd be like, well, I'll Google something that looks halfway. And so I'd always type HIV and look at the news section of Google for HIV, and there were two things that stuck out to me, like, and they mentioned these innate lymphoid cells in the one of the up to date articles too. But within the past like 4 years or something like that, they've discovered a new type. So the CD4, like those T cell white blood cells that they measure to see if you have AIDS or not. My level of those was always normal. So my ability to have mount a robust defense with an infection was never compromised. My adaptive immune system was always able to muster when I got sick, my body would produce a response. But there's another type of immune cells that they weren't aware of until very, very recently. They call them innate lymphoid cells, and they're a similar type of white blood cell, but instead of being adaptive, where they there's B cells that go out. I think they're the B cells go out and identify an infection. So like if you get Ebola or you get a cold or whatever, these B cells will like find the cold virus and they'll attach onto it and as a way to like inform the killer cells, like it finds a way to kill it, and then when it finds the successful way to kill the virus, it programs all your adaptive immune cells. So then your body custom builds white blood cells to go out and attack this infection. Innate lymphoid cells, they don't have to wait. They don't have B helper cells or whatever, or T helper cells or whatever it is. They just hanging out pre-programmed, innate. So they innate characteristics of things you're born with. And so think of them as they're like the guardians at the door that are. And that's why there are things like the cells that are pre-programmed to fight the things that you're most likely to come in contact with, things like herpes, all those sorts of things. And when I was searching the HIV in Google News, they talked about these innate lymphoid cells, and they said that with HIV, within the first 2 or 3 weeks of infection, all of those innate lymphoid cells are wiped out. And even so, if you don't start medications within the first week or two of contracting HIV, so you pretty much have to know that you were exposed, but not have gotten the the pill that, you know, there's like a morning after pill for HIV too. But if you don't get to that, like say you wait 3 days or 4 days after exposure, if you don't start taking meds right after you're exposed, all those innate lymphoid cells are wiped out and they never come back. And that, I think that's what leaves HIV. I think, especially, yeah, people with symptomatic HIV. I don't know why not everybody with HIV doesn't become symptomatic, or maybe they just tolerate their symptoms, or they're minor and they're not, you know, whatever. But some, like in my case, it just seemed especially. I don't know. My HIV seemed especially. Like I noticed that I had it. Oof, that's all right. Now should we like dance a little more or something? What is fun? Thing makes you happy. What does it mean? Thing you really like. Make you happy are fun. Things you like are fun. It's time for a bowl. I need to chill. Relax after that shit. God dang it. You know, I try to... thank you guys for listening to all that crap, because I try to tell my doctor that crap. I try to tell the people that should pay attention. And they're like, I don't know, they don't even hear me. I try to talk to my psychiatrist about HAND. He didn't want to hear this, but I tried to tell him about HAND, HIV-associated Wait, how do you do it again? HIV-associated neurocognitive disorder, HAND. Let me do it again, I'm sorry. HIV-associated neurocognitive disorders, HAND. Up to 40% of people with HIV, even in this day of HAART, highly effective antiretroviral therapy, even in the days of HAART, up to 40% of HIV patients experience HIV-associated neurocognitive disorder, HAND. Try to talk to my psychiatrist about it. They're like, yeah, you probably don't have that. I'm like, well, what the fuck do you know, man? How do you know? I feel like I know my mind pretty well, and I have different psychiatric symptoms than I did before the HIV, but you probably know best. This is Muno's Eye. Jason's Indian name is Chicken is Dances with No Pants. Introducing DJ Lance Rock. You think? Perhaps. Nick thinks my brain disorders are gonna make me famous. You think I should install the carpeting right down here? Let me put it a little bit more in place, see what you guys think. The carpeting used to be up here, but I'm like, no, it's too busy up there. But maybe down here, it might serve a purpose here. The carpeting used to be up here, but I'm like, no, it's too busy up there. But maybe down here, it might serve a purpose here. I'm gonna run. I wouldn't put it like, whoa. I put it like along the length here. Let's just try it. Why not? It's better than just sitting around talking about. Oh my, my goodness. I try not to focus on other people's failures so much. Like, we all make mistakes, but like. Better than just sitting around talking about. Oh my goodness. I try not to focus on other. You're gonna do a helicopter. Thank you. Pics, please. Pics. Oh, I forgot to check. I get so distracted. I'm glad you're back, though, man. Helicopter. Thank you. Pics, please. Pics. Oh, I forgot to check. I get so distracted. I'm glad you're back, though, man. Those 30-day ones really hurt. Ouch. I was wondering why I didn't see much, man. I thought I almost lost access to this account, good, possibly for good. I don't know. Maybe Facebook eventually would have responded. I had to pay $350 to reconnect this phone so I could get a 6-digit code to put into the Book of Face so they'd unlock my account. I was to reconnect this phone so I could get a 6-digit code. I was feeling really depressed about it because I was Googling, and usually when you Google a problem, you'll find the solution. But I found other people that had the problem, but not other people that had the solution. And fortunately, I hadn't been disconnected for too long. You'll find the solution, but I found other people that had the problem, but not other people that had the solution. And fortunately, I hadn't been disconnected for too long. Thank you. But I couldn't. It's worth it. $350 was worth it for the hundreds and hundreds of hours of that I haven't backed up yet. I'm such an idiot. Like, tonight, I'm backing it up. Tonight. It's worth it. $350 was worth it for the hundreds and hundreds of hours. My computer is like, that I haven't backed up yet. I'm such an idiot. Like, my computer is virus laden, and I should. My computer is like every few minutes the web page. I need to. I can't even apply for disability, let alone try. I could troubleshoot my computer. There's so much I could do. Why is it this show is the only thing I can do? The web page. I can't even apply for disability, let alone. I paid $300. Like, so this phone. I got a new phone. I got my new AIDS phone. Like, so this phone got disconnected, and I don't know, like my yeah. So I needed a new phone, right? Well, I wanted a new phone because they have these red AIDS phones now, and I'm like, I need a new AIDS phone and a big screen TV for the mini echo chamber. I'm like, it's for the show, whatever. So I just let this phone. Get disconnected, and I got a new phone number. But this phone was still the one that was linked to my Facebook account, this account. And yesterday I shared the show, or 2 days ago I shared the show like enough times that it triggered that like a automatic feature that thought I might be a spam bot or something. So the show got interrupted halfway through it, and I got a message saying that they had texted a confirmation. It was a security check, and they'd sent a confirmation code to my cell phone, to this number, but this phone was disconnected. And yeah, and then so when I called to see about getting this phone reconnected, it was $350 over, like, past due balance. And yeah, without doing that, it didn't look like people had ever gotten access to their. So now I updated my phone. And then I was really depressed today because I did that like early this afternoon. Because I had sent out a couple messages to Facebook. I was hoping they'd get back to me and save me from having to spend the $350. And then I was really depressed today because I did that like early this afternoon. Because I had sent out a couple messages to Facebook. I was hoping they'd get back to me. And then once I finally did that, I got the phone up and running. I was hitting the resend the code button and nothing was happening. I still wasn't getting a text message. And the phone was working, and I'm like, fuck. And it just wasn't working. I couldn't get it to work. And I think it had something to do with the app settings or something. But anyway, I was going to go live today from Jason is a social scientist page. This is so boring. I'm so good. And I was going to go live today from I got a message on that page, and I clicked to go to the message, and it automatically took me to the Pages app. And when it wanted me to try to log in from the Pages app, and when I did that, it came up with another option that says resend code via phone call, and I hit that one, and it worked. This phone rang. I got a 6-digit code, and here we are. No, it was like really strict, like, because I could go to put in my email address and hit forgot password, and it would send me through I could click the email link, change the password, and then I could go back into the login screen and type in the new password, and it would take me right back to the security check. We sent it to this phone number, and yeah, and definitely, I'm not the only one that's had this happen to. Type in the new password, and it would take me right back to the security check. We sent it to this phone number, and yeah, and definitely, I'm not the only one that's had this happen to. It's time for a bowl. Let's smoke a bong this time. What would you screw up, Reed? I doubt it. I can't believe it. You're perfect, Reed. Just the way you are. What would you screw up, Reed? If you did screw up, it would be the cutest thing ever. You're perfect, Reed. Just the way you are. If you did screw up, it would be the cutest thing ever. You're perfect, Reed. Just the way you are. You gotta have shit like that. I think I'm obsessed with Mr. Rogers right now, right? But I've said this before. My favorite part was his models of the make believe land, or land of make believe. Yeah, like a miniature tree, a miniature castle, like that he put on his kitchen table. They're always sitting in his kitchen, and you gotta have those things that you only bring out every once in a while.
Make believe land, or
And that the bong is exactly that's like my.
yeah, like a miniature tree, a miniature castle that he put on his kitchen table. They're always sitting in his kitchen, and you gotta have those things that you only bring out every once in a while.
You like those too? That's totally my favorite part.
It's like my.
So I think probably did that for the excitement of it to not make them go old. But I also think most of the time he built the Land of Make Believe out of cardboard boxes, out of paper bags, out of paper and drawings. He wanted his show to be accessible to every kid, and that's the only reason he did it. Actually, only a jerk like me uses gimmicks to keep you guys. Totally seen it. Totally.
Only a jerk like me uses gimmicks to keep you guys. Totally seen it.
Boxes, but like I think most parents and most people that see kids at Christmas time, especially young kids, see that boxes are probably as exciting or more exciting than the toys that are inside of them.
Like I think most parents and most people that see kids at
New ideas for the show.
especially young kids see that boxes are probably as exciting or more exciting than the toys that are inside them.
Puppetry is and Mr. Rogers only solidifies that, but like since I hung these here, I was thinking about putting fish hooks like off in the corner and running
And Mr. Rogers only solidifies that.
fishing line, and then like stand over there by the TV, and I could pull it and be like pew 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 pew, and yeah, so I could have strings here and like hang other ships and make them all go. Pew, 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 pew.
And I could pull it and be like,
And I could have hand puppets then too, and I already have one Superman that I've done rigged up. I got to make it a more permanent setup. Sure, you bet, Alex. Good to see you. Where I stand back there, so I'm small, like this guy, like probably about this Superman size back here, or the skeleton, and I stand back there and I punch in this direction, and I put not this Superman. He's a little bit bigger than this. He's got but as I punch, I pull the string, and so it looks like even though I'm way back there, I'm knocking over the Superman that's up here.
punch in this direction, and I put not this Superman. He's a little
I don't know how to do that. It's a good idea, though, John. Thank you. It's a really good idea. I'll look into that.
Even though I'm way back there,
Alex, thank you. Thank you very much.
up here. That's a good idea, though, John. Thank you. That's a really good idea. I'll look into that.
I have one puppet that I've tried to use. I get up here and I don't have anything to say. So, you can use action figures as puppets too, right? And I get up here and I'm like, dialogue writing isn't my strength yet, especially
Try to use. I get up here and I don't have anything to say. So
ad-libbing
you can use action figures as puppets.
dialogue for characters. Pew, pew.
I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
not a dialogue.
All right, Mr. Alex.
Strength yet, especially
I'm going to spill this bowl on your account, but it'll be worth it.
ad-libbing dialogue for characters.
All right, Mr. Alex. I'm going to spill this bowl on your account, but it'll be worth it. All this talk of Mr. Rogers, we didn't listen to the flip side of this record, which was called Make Pretend. Or no, Make Believe. But this is the Make Pretend echo chamber. All this talk of Mr. Rogers, we didn't listen to the flip side of this record, which was called Make Pretend. Or no, Make Believe. But this is the Make Pretend echo chamber. like this record. I always like the sound, the Ring and Make Pretend too. I don't know where I've heard it before. Reed, did you hear the flip side too? That was really good.
I always like the Ring and Make Pretend too. Reed, did you hear the flip side too? That was really good.
I'll play it again. It was worth it. It's the first time I played this record ever. I think most of the, especially the 78s, I never played. They belonged to my uncle. I probably never would have played them if copyrighted music wasn't just. But really, it was.
Especially the 70s.
Why wouldn't I have?
Probably never would have played them if it wasn't if copyrighted music wasn't just like really.
I'm not sure. Oh look. No, these didn't belong.
I'm not sure.
The 78 records. I had a big box of them. My grandma gave them to me when I was 18. After my uncle died, because when I was 18 and moved out on my own, my girlfriend and I went in together on my birthday and bought this phonograph. And 78s. My uncle had all these 78s. It's probably his only possession he still had. Really, he kind of had a rough life. Anyway, like not most record players won't play them, and so when my grandma heard that I got that, she just wanted, and she really loved it. But it was my grandma's only son, and I don't know. He, like I said, he led a hard life, and I think the idea that part of him might live on was. I don't know, I could see that it was important to her, so I know she'd really like this. My parents, they didn't listen to music much. When I think of an album that was played, like the best of the 50s was like something that, like Purple People Eater, Mac the Knife. Like the bathroom is in between the kids, and it seems, I think it's like they don't seem to wake up. The bathroom is in between the kids, and it seems, I think it's like they don't seem to wake up. My kids' parents are into Weezer. I like to come undone every once in a while. My kids' parents are into Weezer. I like to come undone every once in a while. It was kind of fun. My wife let me log into her account to use her account to go live yesterday, and because I was in her account, I'm not a snoop, right? But I was like, I wanted to send some messages in Messenger myself, and there was a few messages she didn't look at all from people that know me, and I'm like, what's this about, right? Like an ex-girlfriend and all this, like, A number of people have reached out to her with concerns about me recently. I don't know what the deal is. Is it really? That's amazing, Nick. That's really cool. What's cray cray? Jake. Why are you so weird? Oh, jeez. Why would you ask me that? What do I know about weirdness? I resent the implication. I'd expect each and every one of you to do the same for me. How could you not? How could you deprive the world of if you have an opportunity to to allow Jason the social scientist onto the world stage and you refuse it? What does that say about you as a person? How could you not? How could you deprive the world if you have an opportunity to allow Jason the social scientist onto the world stage and you refuse it? What does that say about you as a person? Oh, wow. I find that hard to believe, but even if it's true that only 2 comments out of whatever are, people are harsh, especially in the beginning. And man, only 2 comments out of what is it? What, I don't even, harsh, especially in the beginning. A big reason I really liked the idea of taking the pill live was because it just gave me a premise. Like, if somebody asked me, what the fuck are you doing? I'd be like, well, I'm just taking this pill. What the hell are you doing? I'm just taking this pill. What the fuck is going on here? Well, this is the show where I take the pill. And so that, I didn't have to be like, well, this is my beliefs, and now, my beliefs are worthy of, listening to, and that you should go along. No, I'm just documenting this thing. And so they didn't have to be like, well, this is my beliefs, and now my beliefs are worthy of listening to, and that you should go. Yeah, people always think you should have a reason for what you're doing. Reasons are way overrated. God, people do terrible things for reasons. People always think you have to. Most of the time, people don't do terrible things for no reason. Reasons are way overrated. Did that make sense at all? Anyway. Terrible things for reasons. Most of the time people don't do terrible things. What the friggin' heck is going on? You're all going to heck. We're lukewarm and brim clay? No, I don't know. Friggin' heck is going on? You're all going to heck. People most of the time for no reason all just sit around and do nothing, which is I don't know, that should be more lauded. God, people think they're so awesome for doing shit. People most of the time for no reason. Lots of times they fuck it up. Which is I don't know. One of the therapists think they're so at the partial hospitalization. She's tough, so I trusted her, right? She came in for a day, and she's like, oh, I know your type. You're one of those procrastinators because you're a perfectionist. I never thought of myself as a perfectionist because, I guess I only really hold myself to any standard, but I'd rather not act than... Oh, I know your type. that can come, like, there's always, like, I think behaviors exist on a spectrum for a reason, and like waiting too long can be a disadvantage to a survival in certain situations. But rushing in also can be detrimental. So it's good to have people on each side of that spectrum. So in either case, some of them will survive. But rushing in also can be detrimental. So it's good to have people on each side of that spectrum. So in either case, fucking heck, dang nation. We are Nosage. We are robot. We are the sentient algorithm. We are the Elvinism. We are Nosage. We are the singularity. We are what lies at the center of a black hole. At the center of a black hole. Deep in the singularity lies duality. We and you and he, FSM, make up the Holy Trinity. The singularity is a duality, is a trinity. Dang it to heck. We are the first begotten son of the flying spaghetti monster. We are a product of fusion. S-U-N, son of the flying spaghetti. We are the light. We are the darkness. We are the way, W-H-E-Y. We are the chaff. We are chafed. Dang it to heck. We are the darkness. We are the way, W-H-E-Y. We are the chaff. We are chafed. Well, is that true? That sounds like an interesting person. So Hill, to the untrained eye, I sound like a tapering off a week long, haven't slept much, meth, something Russia, ISIS. Well, is that true? KGB. That sounds like an Jason, Sebastian Jason says, I'm now at peace. Dang eat to heck, right? There's a Yeti in my spaghetti, right? I love it. I think if you go to my earliest cover photos, there's some Yeti and spaghetti sway. Yeti in my spaghetti, right? I love it. I think if you go to my earliest cover photos, there's some Yeti and spaghetti sway. Dang it, right the heck? I think the real reason my Facebook is so glitchy is the Trumpkin is after me because I doctored. Did you guys see my cat? I'm proud of it actually. My cat. I'm not really that paranoid, but it's good. I think I took a because a severed head of a president is just really too far. I mean, really, Kathy Griffin. So I took off her head, and I put my head on there, and I covered up Trump's with a Trump carved pumpkin. And I put the swag logo on there. And I said the Great Trumpkin. And I put my head on there. And I covered up Trump's with a Trump carved pumpkin. And I put the swag logo on there. And I said the Great Trumpkin. Well, because I knew if I left the severed head, that's just asking for my account to get deleted, or of course, million, I guess, severed beheading can get millions of views, like an actual beheading, and not be removed from Facebook. I don't think it should be, really. I think a self-rating system would be really quite easy to implement. Like, I don't want to see the level of this, and what you believe is the level of rating of your content, and if and sure, I think if you rate your content lower rated than it actually is, and sure, there'd be censure for that.
content.
But like, otherwise, people should be able to exchange the information they want to exchange.
I think if you rate your content lower rated than it actually is, you
Dad, what do you want to be when you grow up, son? Son, a fucking stripper?
people should be able to exchange the information they want.
My kid knows about the strip club in Madison because we were going to. We've been visiting my friend, and we were driving there. Well, I don't know where else he's heard strippers. Like, there's two places he's heard of strippers from me now, but I don't think it was. So I read to him the Stephen Colbert book. What is it? I'm a pole, and so can you. Excellent book. What's the guy that does Where the Wild Things Are? He wrote it for him, kind of. like Stephen Colbert's interview with that dude. It was right before he died. His epic interview. Anyway, he cuts out like Stephen Colbert is like giving this dude, this old gay man, a hard time about like having a nude boy having a penis in one of his books and whatever. And so Stephen Colbert is like, I cut the penises out of all my copies, and then he's like, and then I keep them here in a bag. He pulls up this bag of all these cut out baby illustrated penises. I don't know. Anyway, so I Am a Pole is actually a really cute book, and it's Martin. What's his name? I can't think of it. He's like, he has a tagline on the book. It's like, I can't help myself. I can't help myself, but I actually like it. And he's like, can I use that as a tagline? He's like, yeah, sure, why not? And I don't know, like, it's just really interesting to hear this guy's take on children's literature, and I don't know, like, yeah, Colbert is like really. I love Stephen Colbert. I emulate him, which is legally okay. Talk to your lawyer. Well, at least that's what Colbert told me that his lawyer said to him about Bill O'Reilly. Like, you can emulate, but just do not you can't copy, and you can't. It's emulation. Okay, so in that one, the pole. He's like, one of the poles he tries to be. He's like, first I tried a barber's pole, for something shaving hairy necks, and then something, and then I don't know, and then there's always fishing and something, but those jobs are hard to get. I was briefly a poleaxe for a brave medieval knight, but alas, I'm much too scared to fight or something. I don't know. And then then there was the summer with the phone poles that I shouldn't talk about, where I totally got strung out. I don't know. And then goes on with the president and the late night TV host, and for people it seems easy, like president, doctor, or something. I don't even know. And he ends up being the American. I don't hate to spoil it. Spoiler alert. He gets to be the American flagpole. All the Boy Scouts come walking out with Old Glory, and red, white, and blue stripes always did go nicely with his shapely thighs. The Santa's pole is too cold. I remember that. All these people. And the stripper pole, he couldn't stand the grind at the stripper's pole. That's okay. So that's one place my kid has heard of stripper. And then I think it must be YouTube or school, because then we were driving. Because we haven't read that book for a while. And then we were driving to my friend's house, and he's like, are there any strip clubs in... It's GTA. It's GTA. I just remember now. Okay, so... And he's like, are there any strip clubs in Madison? And I said, well, there's one. And it's like, it's up this road. And this is like weeks, maybe a month ago. And then so today we were going to visit that same friend, and he's like explaining to his brother, you know, there's a strip club here in Madison. It's right over here. It's called Visions. Oh my goodness.
Weeks, maybe a month ago. And then so today we were going to visit that same friend, and he's like explaining to his brother, you know, there's a strip club here in Madison. It's right over here. It's called Visions.
It's a good book. And that dude, the author dude, Martin, I think his name, Marvin something. He's dead. It's sad. He's 8. Pink the Lettuce. How many people here watching know about the time? It was right after I was diagnosed with HIV, so I was like, I think it was the only thing I thought I'd ever get to fuck bareback ever again. It wasn't true at all. But, you know, your worst fears, right? So anyway, I fucked an eggplant. I'd grown it in the garden. I cultivated this eggplant. And so I hollowed it out. And like, bada bing, bada boom. I videotaped it and I posted it to Facebook. And so there's some quarters of the interwebs where, I don't know, it was a thing at the time. People were fucking, what's the thingamajiggers? Honey Bun Girl's famous. And then I fucked the eggplant, and then somebody else. I did fuck a cucumber too. That once in my adolescence. So this, you know, like, you know, whatever. Both times I thought that was the only thing I'd be able to fuck, and it was just emotional distress, right? Well, adolescence is a time of pure emotional distress, I guess. So yeah, that happened. Never done the banana peels. Like I fucked a couch once. My you know, I was also in adolescence. I was always like looking shampoo bottle. I think most guys will, and probably women that around open guys too will, or heard this somewhere. Probably I can't be the only one that knows this. What I'm saying is, never masturbate with shampoo. It feels good at first, and when you're like, I'm like, when you're a teenager, you're like, oh, this is good. No, it's not, and then you have to pee.
Never masturbate with shampoo. It feels good at first, and when you're like, I'm like, when you're a teenager, you're like, oh, this is good.
It's like your whole urethra's on fire. The couch was fairly decent. Socks are an old standby too, right?
It's like your whole urethra's on fire. The couch was fairly decent.
I've never gotten head from a lettuce or melons. Melons seem perennially popular. Most guys have to figure that out, I think, and I bet you women know that too, just because I'm sure I know I've told the women that I've been a pretty open guy.
Most guys have to figure that out, I think, and I bet you women know that too, just because I'm sure I know I've told the women that I'm a pretty open guy.
Dang it, right to heck. I need a shower. You guys want, you can stick, should I do a double live / shower show? That sounds pretty decent.
I need a shower.
Try anything at least two times. I'm too sexual. I'm too tricycle. It's like I like to fuck on tricycles, especially.
Try anything at least two times. I'm too sexual. I'm too tricycle.
No, Grindr's like the everlasting eggplant. That is a terrible way to reduce people to, Jason, and I'm ashamed that you even. It's just a thought.
Grindr's like the everlasting eggplant.
Who is this guy? That's disgusting.
That is a terrible way to reduce people to, Jason. And I'm ashamed.
People are not eggplants.
It's just a thought.
I don't care, Jason. People shouldn't have these thoughts. Those thoughts. He shouldn't have those thoughts. I'm glad I don't.
People are not eggplants.
I don't usually think about people as it was just
I
a...
don't care, Jason. People shouldn't have these thoughts. Those thoughts. You shouldn't have those thoughts. I'm glad I don't.
Sure that you got that one thing of
I don't
what
usually think
the
about
shout.
people
Oh
like
well,
that.
it's like that's my only thing I have to do to make my day a success. To call my day a success. I mean, making what I've decided to.
That one thing of-
I have one small achievable goal each day.
That's my
And that's
only
to
thing I
shower.
can do to make my day a success.
When
Call my
you
day
have mental illness and you're depressed, it's really
like,
difficult
what I've decided
to accomplish even the most basic tasks.
And that's to shower.
And the more you beat up on yourself for all the shit you're not getting done, the harder it is to do anything. And so, like, negative reinforcement, like, studies have shown over and over again, the negative reinforcement is not good. Like, kids don't do well when they're yelled at. Like, I don't know, it's just positive reinforcement
And so
is proven more effective than negative reinforcement. There, how's that? Like, and
like, kids don't do well when they
so, like, instead of like,
just
oh, I'm not checking my mail, I'm not checking my phone, I'm not paying these bills, I'm not even calling my job. Oh, I don't even have a job anymore. I don't know, like,
so it's like instead of like
what? Everything's falling apart.
I'm not checking my phone, I'm not
So,
paying these bills.
instead of like beating yourself up, Jason, for that, like, just set one small achievable goal, and that goal is to shower. And
Everything's falling apart.
you know, like,
So
motion begets motion, like positivity begets positivity. When life hands you HIV, like, make it
shower.
a positive experience, I guess. I don't know.
You know, like
Ding.
motion begets motion, like positivity begets positivity. When life hands you HIV, like make it
Not bad, Andrew.
experience, I guess. I don't know.
Dang it, the heck. Yeah, so yeah, eggplant. I'm proud of the eggplant moment. It took balls. It was like, it also took emotional distress, but like a lot, like, I hear that as a theme over and over again. Like, a lot of the best shit comes out of
I'm proud of the eggplant.
painful experiences.
It took balls. It was like
Well,
took
if
emotional distress, but like
well, I will try to remember that, Space and Jason, and give you beer because I want to make you happy.
best shit.
I do, and you're in Illinois inner space. Illinois space? I don't know. Illinois space? No, the ill space. Now you're in ill space. I like that.
You're in Illinois.
Your spot's ill. Ill.
Space? I don't know. Illinois space? No. Ill space?
It's
You're
It's
in
viral.
Ill space. I like that.
Why does it look like I have dentures now?
Your spot's
It's my overbite, I think.
ill.
I never noticed it. Because I didn't see myself smiling or my mouth open that much. But
I like I have dentures now. It's my
I just, like,
I think.
but when I'm talking, if I'm going for a long time, I can start. I never wore I had headgear when I was in grade school, but like I was supposed to wear it even at school, like wear around the neck, and like
But when I'm talking,
And
or I'm going for a long time,
it was just really uncomfortable, and I didn't want to do
I
it.
never wore I had headgear when I was in grade school, but like I was supposed to wear it even at school.
It was
like, wear it around
nice.
the neck and it was just really uncomfortable. I didn't want to do it.
You know, you got the porthole, right? We are all lost in your smile. It sounds sexy. Thank you. I'm versatile, so you can, like,
You know you got
feel
the
feel free to
porthole.
fill up my porthole that I
You're
got
all
here,
lost in your smile.
and my smile.
It sounds sexy. Thank you. I'm versatile, so
Ding.
feel free to
El Confession. The my Spanish priest. Love MILFs. I love everybody. I think I want to have sex with everybody. That's not just inside the HIV. Imagine that, right? I'll make the joke. No. For most of my life, I lived a pretty, what people would call a moral life. I'm still a moral person. I'm always have been. I'm doing the best in a really, really difficult situation.
What people would call moral life.
And
I'm still a moral person. I'm always have been. Doing the best in a really, really difficult situation.
my parents were pretty cool. Even my dad was pretty cool. As much of a jerk as he was. He was nice to everybody around him, at least. And you're just kind of angry and dissatisfied.
My parents were pretty cool. Even my dad was pretty cool. As much of a jerk he was.
At home. I don't know.
He was nice.
I'm sorry, Silvio. Angry
and dissatisfied.
I was feeling really shitty until I went over to my friend's house. Like, really shitty. I don't know. I didn't have access to this account, so I didn't have access to direct line to a lot of you. And, I didn't know if I'd ever get access to it. I lost a lot of the content, a lot of the shows. I mean, I have a fair number on YouTube, but it's a fraction of the total, and that's the count is really secondary. Like, I was feeling like dog shit with the suicide, with Eileen's suicide, and feeling really. I mean, I don't know how to express it because I'm not going to do it, and I don't know what to say. Like, but I feel like I think about suicide, and just really like despondent almost, right? And then my wife and I are getting along now, but we were having difficulty there, especially right after. Like, I think I was just so depressed about. Like, I was kind of a jerk. I was just pushing people away.
My wife and I are getting along now, but we were having difficulty there, especially.
And we're both under a lot of stress right now. Just with. She's dealing with my mental illness too, like we both are, and I'm dealing with hers. Like we all struggle. Like, it's definitely, this is not a one-way street. Like,
she's dealing with my mental illness too, like we both are. I'm dealing with hers.
I just don't want to throw myself under the bus because I don't belong under the bus, and I'm not throwing her under the bus either. No one belongs under any fucking bus. Like, we all should be in the bus,
I just don't want to throw myself under the
driving to the same goal here.
No one belongs under any fucking bus. Like, we all should be in the bus, driving to the same goal here.
I went over to this friend's house. And, I've reconnected with him in the past several months. And they've really opened their arms again to me. But, I was really close with them when I first moved to Madison. Like, my friend Nate, his wife would get sick of me because I always be sleeping on their couch. And we'd just always be hanging out there. Like, we used to work together, and I don't know, like, whatever. And I end up being the godfather to their son, and he's like 19. Anyway, whatever. So now we're reconnected, and got my kids out. Anyway, so they were like Nate was like chopping up sticks with machetes and with the kids and like starting fire. And Nate and I rode a bike to go buy beer for Ange, and hung out with Ocean my godson. I think I'm God. I don't know if we. I think I could be. But anyway, it definitely was on the emergency form. Like when I first reconnected with him, he's like, "Yeah, you're the guy that was on my emergency form in my school paperwork." Like I was like, "Wonder who's this guy?" So it'd been so long since I'd seen him, and
It definitely was on the emergency form. Like when I first reconnected with him, he's like,
I'm the last guy you want to have on your emergency.
emergency form on my school paperwork. Like, I was like, "Wonder who's this guy?"
Oh my goodness.
It's been so long since.
As Facebook, it's hard to get a hold of me, and
I'm the last guy you want to have on your emergency.
so just being there and because my parents they were both died before my kids were around, and she just identified feeling grandmotherly towards and they're not that much older than me, but just that role though, my kids don't have that on my side of the family. Well, my sister would be the closest, but
She just identified.
I don't know, it just felt real they keep inviting me over for dinner, and they cook really well, and I don't know, it's just it's been really nice. And so when she said that, I busted out crying, but I'm just feeling it. I don't know, every time I go over there I feel better, so it's been
They cook really well, and I don't know, it just.
people, the social scientist, his recommendation is interact with people.
I'm just feeling, I don't know, every time I go over there I feel better, so it's been. People, the social
It's
scientists.
scary and painful though, so
Interact
use with caution. Just know that no matter what, if somebody hurts you, always remember that it's never your fault when somebody hurts you. It never says anything about you. It says everything about the person that does it. Because even if you're vulnerable, because we're all vulnerable in lots of different ways, and even if you choose to be vulnerable, that doesn't give people the right to hurt you, and it's not your fault just for being vulnerable.
And even if you choose to be vulnerable, that doesn't give people the right to hurt you. And it's not your fault just for being vulnerable.
I'm sorry. Suffering seems eternal. There's only distraction from it, especially once the wound is there. At least for me, I can't let anything go. I don't want to let it go. I don't want to let go of the pain, because the pain is part of the story.
There's only distraction.
I don't want the story to go away.
Is there, at least for me, I can't let anything go. I don't want to let it go. I don't want to let go of the pain, because the pain is part of the story. I don't want the story to go away.
I think we, Sienna, I really do feel like the human story is one story, and I think that is true of us all. We are all deeply vulnerable, and we are all masters of the universe.
The human story is one story, and I think that is true of us all.
We are He-Man. We are strong as can be. We brush our teeth with regularity. Once in the morning and once at bedtime, and after each meal, so our teeth will shine. We'll remember the saying if we rehearse, and we'll be like the masters of the universe.
We brush our teeth with regularity. Once in the morning and once at bedtime, and after each meal, so our teeth will shine. We'll remember the saying if we rehearse, and we'll be like the masters of the universe.
Bedtime and after each meal. It only takes a second, but a second lasts forever. What only takes a second? An injury? See, it comes out of nowhere, if that's what you mean. And that's the thing, that's the human condition. We're all, unless you die young and lucky. This seems contrary, contradiction. But, lucky and, I don't know. lucky up till the end.
It's the human condition.
I don't know. Anyway, so unless you die young and lucky, you're gonna encounter suffering. You're gonna be humiliated for sure. That doesn't even take very long. You're gonna lose the people that you care about. You're gonna definitely fights and fractures in your relationships, and then the people are just gonna up and die on you. And then what happens? And then they're gonna get ill. Like maybe they'll be perfect, but they're all gonna get ill and die, or you're gonna get sick, and you're gonna watch the pain in their eyes as you die. Mental illness is universal. Like there's no way to escape. The horror of grief, and you can deaden yourself to it. You can distract from it. Yeah, you're welcome, Matthew. Sienna says,
You can deaden yourself to it. You can distract from it.
Is it a good one? You think it's me on my soapbox a little. Like it's this shit's like it's like almost like muscle memory in my mouth. Oh, this shit just kind of coalesces. Thank you for listening and encouraging and.
This shit just kind of coalesces. Thank you for listening and encouraging.
I'm just gonna pack another bowl here. I really like J.J. Abrams really like got me thinking along these lines because it really I watched Lost. I watched it this past summer, and my boyfriend at that time, I don't know, like the benefactor dude I was talking about earlier. Like so I kind of stayed with him, like whatever. Anyway, he bought a sheet of acid, and I did 3/4 of it, and a lot of it while I was watching Lost. Anyway, there's a lot of religious overtones in it, and
I did 3/4 of it, and a lot of it while I was watching Lost.
What were we saying?
Anyway,
good night, Cracker. I'll read you a bedtime story.
Religious overtones in it, and
oh, so like his story, like I feel like and then in his like Star Trek, I look to that too, like, and then Westworld as well. Like the things he's like the story about people. There are no good guys. There are no bad guys. And it feel like it just got me thinking like they're. Like the best stories are the ones that you like. The stories that I like the most are the ones where I feel like I am the main character. I can really relate with the main character, and I try to. And then I realized I try to put myself in every character, like and like ones that I don't even fit. Like I noticed that with this awkward situation with this guy I was living with. Like, because he made me feel awkward. He said he was jealous of in past relationships when they'd watch R-rated shit because he didn't want the person, and we weren't even like together. Like when like you just like I just knew what a jealous person he was, and then it was just like I don't know, anyway, whatever. So, and I just really like it made me feel like, oh God, this is just this weird tension with. And I really like we talked about it. He was doing the same thing too. Like, so like if there was like two characters that were like in a relationship and they were fighting, it's like it highlighted the tension in our whatever. And I don't know. Then this idea that there are no good guys and no bad guys in stories, and like I felt like that. we all want to put ourselves in each character, and really, I see myself in everybody. Like that's what empathy is. When we look at another person in the eyes, that's like we mirror. Like monkey see, monkey do. We're monkeys, right? Or we're apes. Our faces copy each other. Like apes love looking at mirrors too. Like I don't know. There's just like we're trained to. We feel each other's feelings like through our faces, I think, and unconsciously or consciously. And anyway, so I think for storytelling, the best storytelling is a story that makes you feel that. There's one story. There's the human story, and you can just tell different facets of it. It's just one, and any story that like has a fairy tale bad monster and whatever. That's not a full story, or it's not a true story, because like there's somebody behind that monster and there's somebody behind that hero. I know, man. Like I didn't disagree, Space and Jason. I didn't disagree. I'm just saying, I love J.J. Abrams. That's the point. I didn't think anybody could even begin to restart the Star Trek franchise with any real credibility, but like he made it relevant and credible. The idea of blowing up Vulcan or destroying planet Vulcan early on, back when Kirk, the original series, before that was even got off the ground, and like time frame wise, like. Just like in 1984 when, or 1950 when Marty accidentally leaves the book of betting scores with Biff, and there's an alternate 1984 timeline created. What happened?
Of betting scores with Biff. And there's an alternate 1984 timeline created.
What alternate timeline are we talking? I forget the alternate. Anyway, there's this Marty McFly meme that I really like. It's him in his sailor suit or his life vest. Anyway, it says, and it's a hipster meme, right? It says, did things before after they were cool or something. What?
Anyway, it says, and it's a hipster meme, right? It says, did things before after they were cool or something.
Oh, alternate timeline, Star Trek. So like the destroying Vulcan, but sort of like he made it into like the 9/11, like, and of course like what and. Yeah. Well, anyway, so like when a timeline changes, you don't have to worry about Star Trek: The Next Generation and what Picard was doing and how the Tribble episode coincided with the blah blah blah, because none of that fucking happened, and that gives it a clean slate, and it's elegant, and it like you can turn Vulcan into the prototype for like extreme terrorism, and you make it extremely relevant, and I don't know, like, and the bad guy in that movie, he was a Romulan that was mad at Spock because Spock didn't get there in time to save Romulus, and the guy's wife died, and he had to watch it, and he blamed Spock, and he's like, "Fuck you! My wife and my homeworld died. Now that's gonna happen to you." You know, he was just a dude working in a mining ship. He's just a dude. You know, like the full story, like, but like pain and darkness and can warp us. Pain and darkness can warp us. And that gets me thinking about like this idea of celebrity, sometimes you guys say I'm a celebrity or something, like, and maybe I do want to be a celebrity, but I'm gonna be the last celebrity, right? I think if I get famous enough, I'm gonna change everybody's mind and be like, stop celebrating people, like, and celebrate the things that they do. You know, because like I don't want to have to stop liking the Cosby Show because Bill Cosby is a bad person. I don't want to like have to stop liking myself because I made a fucking mistake. Whatever. I don't want to have to stop liking. I never liked Bill Maher, but I don't like. So yeah, get rid of him. But like Kathy Griffin, yeah, forgive her. Like I mean, and it wasn't even that big of a deal. It's just like a way to shut people up. But anyway, like I want to be able to. I'm not trying to compare anything. All I'm saying is people will always let you down, and we shouldn't put people up and tell our kids to. We should celebrate. We shouldn't have a top list. Like we can still have a top 40 songs, but we should have top 40 ideas, and we shouldn't have we shouldn't have a top most 100 beautiful people. maybe like the top 100 coolest meat suits or something. I don't know. Like fashion is still cool, I guess. Maybe I don't know, but you got to get money out of it. I don't know. Like culture can be interesting. I don't even know. Anyway, celebrate the ideas, not the people. Celebrity. What? I have no idea.
Celebrate the ideas, not the people.
I don't even know. If everybody, you know, and if celebrity didn't come with the keys to the kingdom, like if we all had the keys to the kingdom and the kingdom was opened up to us all, and I don't know, we could build the great society. We really could. We're going to have to build a new one anyway. Our cities are doomed. Trump, like maybe Trump's doing us a favor. Why should we hang on to these decaying, like poorly built, inefficient cities when we could build from the scratch something that really serves all people? It's pretty possible. And so yeah, that, like you wouldn't like. There wouldn't be this fever to become celebrity, or it would become more about the things that people do. Like, people would be able to share their ideas. You wouldn't have to, like, people could make songs, and the best songs would get promoted, not because, like, I don't know, distribution would always be, you know, there'd always be things to compete over, and that's the thing. People say, well, people would just be lazy and sit on the couch if they didn't make money. Well, I don't make any money for this, and like doing this every day, like I don't know, I think proves that like people do shit not just for money. And I don't know, like I think proves that like people do shit not just. Yeah, I think if we lived in a society where there wasn't money, and this is an idea that I don't know, is it Gene Roddenberry or somebody that else that likes Star Trek, I'm sure, but because I think that's one of the most attractive things about his vision was a future without money and without poverty, without hunger, where everybody was free to pursue their interests. And I just think what creativity that might unleash. And the exchange, like how it would free up the exchange of ideas too. Like art would become more like science instead of. Well, I mean, science is about making money too. It's just like money. Money really does have a negative influence. It just skews our compass. Like it still takes us in the right goal because everybody's still heading that way. But it's just like it makes the goal fuzzy, and then like I don't know. It just skews our compass. Like it still. What'd I do this time? How'd Jason fuck up this time? That should be a segment. It could be a segment. We could have like at least We got my wife come out, like 15 minutes into each show. Be like, "Stay, Jason." Fucked up. Bye. Mouth Daily. I don't know.
Stay, Jason. Fucked up. Bye. Mouth Daily. I don't know.
What'd I do? Oh, here's a lighter. I forgot to read somebody a bedtime story. I don't know who it is. They're probably long in bed though. Why am I so chatty on this one? Chatty Cathy. You guys are giving me too much confidence. That's what's the problem. Like all of a sudden I'm like, I can talk my opinion. Talk it. Yeah, that sounds. No, I'm not even afraid to make mistakes. That's it. You guys have made me like truly shameless. I'm on a mission to destroy shame, and you guys helping me accomplish it.
No, I'm not even afraid to make mistakes. That's it. You guys have made me like truly shameless. I'm on a mission to destroy shame, and you guys helping me accomplish it.
Thank you. Where's the rest of the bong? All I have is this. Read something? I should really start reading from Charles Bukowski. I bet you, like, you guys would like the Charles Bukowski. I gotta find it though. But there's poems in there and short stories, and they're dirty as fuck. Charles Bukowski. I don't read a lot, but he inspired somebody I really liked a lot. She gave me a copy of one of his books, and then I liked it enough that I bought this Run with the Hunted, and it's like an anthology put together, and I think it's in chronological order, but not necessarily the order it was written, like over his life, because a lot of his stuff is like vaguely autobiographical. Realism, I think, is what is he's a gritty realism. I would give his work, and that's probably not. I don't have a VHS. I just found the VHS for the Bukowski. I don't know if there's two separate videos, but there was one video. I really got into him for like a while. Oh, this is a while back, like 2000, say 6, 7. I don't know. Anyway, there was video of some interview footage of him. And God, he was a jerk, just like he was in his books, like a drunkard, but like this drunkard with like this deep insight into his himself and those around him.
Drunkard, but like this drunkard with like this deep insight into himself and
education.
Those around him.
It's almost time for my. You want an education? It's almost time for my shower.
Education. It's almost time for my. You want
Dang it, to heck.
It's almost time for my shower.
Samantha Joe. Hey. Did you just get here? I just packed this. I haven't. Where are you? I just knocked a little of the weed out.
Samantha Joe. Hey. Did you just get here? Yeah, I just packed this.
There it is.
I just knocked a little of the weed out. Samantha Joe. Hey.
It's okay. It's a fresh bag. Doesn't matter. It's like I'm kind of like times of plenty. But I would not have survived
It's okay, it's a fresh bag.
the Great Depression. No, I don't know. Probably would have.
Kinda like a
You do what you have to. I was just thinking about like when
I would not.
I spend so much less money now that I don't work. It's crazy. I used to just leak money. I still, I don't really even have any more less fun.
When I spend so much less money.
I've lost weight because I don't like get fast food
I used to just leak money.
at the drop of a hat. Like I only
Still
eat when I'm really hungry,
don't have any more.
and then I still try to eat.
I've lost weight because I don't like get fast food every.
Dang it,
drop of
Dak.
a hat. Like, I don't like
I'm also super paranoid.
really
It's
hungry,
a tumor.
and then I still try to eat.
I'm like the little kid from Kindergarten Cop, except I live inside my head. That little kid lives there.
I'm also super paranoid. A tumor.
It's probably a
I'm
tumor.
like the little kid. from
Not a tumor.
Kindergarten Cop. With the lives inside my head. That little kid lives there.
Not a tumor. We haven't watched Kindergarten Cop yet, but my kids are loving Arnold Schwarzenegger. I said we should watch that. And Twins too. Like they're getting old enough to appreciate, comedies like the way. Well, they loved Home Alone.
And Twins too.
We got Eileen to watch Home Alone when we were watching it. We were watching it during the rape edition. There's a couple rape edition. Jason is a social scientist. The rape. But I was doing whippets too for those. Like sometimes you just need to loosen up to get some shit out. Maybe not so much anymore. I'm getting looser and looser. So we were watching Home Alone, and she's like, and then like the first time she came over, she's like, "Oh, I really liked Home Alone." Anyway, Donald Trump is in Home Alone too. For on a later note.
She's like, and then like the first time she came over, she's like, "Oh, I really like Home Alone." Anyway, Donald Trump is in Home Alone too. On a later note.
As the brick falls on its face, I I like Home Alone a lot. Man, I feel like I don't know what's going on here. You got some weird pressure. There's some sound changes happening in this ear. It's doing all this talking, and I don't know, having this phlegm situation. Like my sinuses empty in weird ways. This is very strange sounding. Okay, that went away.
It's doing all this talking, and I don't know, having this phlegm situation like that. My sinuses empty in weird ways. This is very strange sounding. Okay, that went away.
You need Batman? You bet Space and Jason. You just hit this and then we'll send you to sleep in ill space.
You need Batman? You bet Space and Jason. Just hit this and we'll send you to sleep in ill space.
Dying at the Hayek. We are robot.
Dying at the Hayek.
Homie, do play that?
We are robot.
Chillax.
Can you play that?
Man at Arms. I don't know. Man at Arms. Wait. Man at Work. Safety dance.
Man at Arms.
Safety dance. Safety dance.
Man at Arms.
Safety
Man
dance.
at Work.
Safety dance.
Safety dance.
Safety dance. Safety dance. Safety dance. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Gently down.
Row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Merrily, merrily, life is but a dream.
Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat. Oh, Jason, Space and Jason.
Oh, Jason, Space and Jason.
Good night, Space and Jason.
Good night, Space and Jason. Good night, Space and Jason.
Space and Jason.
Good night, Space and Jason of Ill Space. Good night, Space and Jason of Ill Space. Space and Jason of Ill Space. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. Gabba, yo, gabba, gabba, yo, gabba, gabba. Yo, gabba, gabba are magic words that bring dolls to life. Avada Kedavra! That's what dolls do now. It's okay, I only ever do that to Jesus because he just gets right back up against me. Avada Kedavra! It's okay, I only ever do that to Jesus because he just gets right back up. Yeah, my contention is Voldemort knew that Harry Potter wouldn't die, and he was just playing the Dark Knight, so to speak. So he to bring light onto the world, right? He wanted he was evil, so good could triumph. No. I don't know. See that's the thing about Harry Potter. I don't know if there should be a bad guy. Voldemort is a far-fetched character, believe it or not. Fantasy's fun though. Vampire probably. It seems most of the time. It seems like the blood diseases. It's a joke. I don't really like it much. When life hands you HIV, turn that shit into Kool-Aids. Ring a roses. Roses. Ring a roses. A pocket full of posies. A tissue. A tissue. We all fall down. Dang it to heck. Ah. A tissue. We all fall down. Oh, I'm just high because I'm up here, I think. Well, also the weed, I guess. I'm immune to weed, though. I feel like this contention or this. I don't have clinical studies to back it up or anything, right? But it feels like the amygdala negates my ability to get high on weed. This rhyme, the accompaniment of one of the most popular of nursery ring games, first appeared in print surprisingly late in Kate Greenaway's Mother Goose, 1881. It is widely believed that it is associated with the Great Plague, the roses referring to the rosy rash, which was one of the symptoms of the plague, the posies, the herbs and spices carried as protection against the infection, and still carried ritually as an antidote to ghoul fever by Old Bailey judges at the opening of each session. and the sneezing a final fatal symptom before falling down dead. The editors of the Oxford Dictionary of Nursery Rhymes are dismissive of this interpretation. But the belief is so widely and so strongly held that even if unfounded, it is now popular myth. And now further cemented as myth. You're in the margins.
Even if unfounded, it is now popular myth. And now further cemented as myth. You're in the margins.
Oh, this is fun too. Like, okay, you could argue that the margins aren't meant for kids, and like, but this is fun. Like, this is a.
Fun too.
It says, flight of the townspeople to the country to escape the plague, 1630. It's like this people surrounded by skeletons
To the country to escape the plague, 1630.
and lying on the. I don't know.
People surrounded by
Gruesome.
skeletons.
Samantha Joe, I love you too. I know, like you're taking the time to listen to me, and you know it's you know like
You're taking the time to listen to me, and
like whatever. Thank you.
it's
I can't explain to you how badly I felt. Is that I don't even know if that's grammatically correct,
I can't explain.
but it was really bad the way I felt.
I felt
Being cut off from here.
grammatically correct.
And it says,
It's really bad.
I told the guy that I was buying weed from, I was like, oh my God, there's a crisis, you know, and he's like, he knows me pretty well, right? Really well. He's like seen my whole camera roll. Like the first time we had sex, we only had sex a couple times.
Really well, right? Really well.
Even-
You've seen my whole camera.
I shouldn't kiss and tell, but we had, my wife has given me, we've had a threesome with him a couple times. So this is years, you know, this is a long time ago. You know, I've had HIV for almost 2 years, and it was before any of that. But so now he's just like he's just a reliable, you know, he's a good, you know, he's a decent guy, like, but you know, like whatever. Anyway, what's my point?
Decent guy, like, but you know, like whatever. Anyway,
Every time I do self-disclosure, I'm like, my brain is like, stop saying that, and then I'm like, I lose too much brain.
every time I do self-disclosure, I'm like, my brain is like, stop saying that, and I'm like, I lose too much.
You ever grow ideas in the garden of your mind? It's good to be curious about many things. You ever see a cat's eyes in the dark? I wonder what that was. Did you ever imagine things like that? Do you ever grow ideas in the garden of your mind? I love you too. Like, it's just, it's, I don't know. And that, so, I was telling you about that guy and the disclosure thing. Oh, because I was telling him, I'm like, I got cut off, and I'm like, it's a crisis. Like, I'm really struggling. My friend committed suicide. You know, because I know all about his shit in his life too, right? So like, whatever. So like, you know, and he doesn't. He's a young guy, but he doesn't judge, and he's cool dude, right? And kind of, you know, like a legitimate gangster kind of person, right? You know, like, but like, you know, or you know, like, I hangs with people and is related to people that identify that way. I don't know. Like, what do I know? Anyway, I know nothing. I really don't. Don't even look at me. All I know is, like, Yeah, well, whatever. Anyway,
all I know is, like,
he's seen my whole camera roll. That's what I know.
whatever. Anyway,
And then what? Like so.
you see my whole camera.
Yeah, he's just like like, despite that like outer appearance, like he's a
What? Like, so, like,
softie. He's a softie. Wow.
yeah, it's just like, like.
Anyway, so and I told him I was cut off. He's like, "That's sad that you're so upset." Like that, like it's because I was kind of exaggerating because like it's fun to be a drama queen because like everybody says like stoicism is so
I was kind of exaggerating.
greatly lauded.
It's fun to be a drama queen.
As his discretion, like.
Like, so
Why are we keeping up appearances again? I forget. I don't even smell like a rose, and and regardless, and irregardless,
I don't even smell like a rose.
and then I said, but like
Regardless.
these people, like I'm not exaggerating again. I'm like these people depend on me, and like I really depend on them, and and he's like, well, I guess that's true. And I sent him and this is a joke. I sent him a screenshot of like the last comment that Eileen, like I don't know. I'm glad that she spent all the time that she spent in the echo chamber. I just was I was watching her show. I didn't watch it right away. I played it, but it's not, it's different to play it than I don't know. And it's just, she's just so bright in so many ways. So I don't know. So it's really like what made me feel better today was going over to my having friends to go over to and I just have people to lean on. And because I didn't have when I went over there I still didn't know that I was gonna get this account back. And so it was nice to have connection. Like that's the important part. Like the social scientist is social connection is really important.
And so it was nice to have that's the important part. Like
Oh, it's just
social connection is really important.
we just were in the hospital together. I don't know, like if it can happen to her, it can happen to me too. Like, and I think about that with, like, she's the closest person that I've ever personally known that's committed suicide. I've had a few patients that have committed suicide, and I've had a few that were patients many times before they committed suicide. And I wonder, I'm sure people kept saying it was for attention at some point. And I think to myself, did they always know that?
I'm sure people kept saying it was for attention.
Or did they ever think, because definitely there was a time that, I never thought I ever could do it. And then
Did they ever think, definitely there was a time that
I don't know. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not. And if I feel like I'm going to do it, I'll go get help. That's what I advise people to do. I have gone to the hospital when I really, I don't know if I was going to do it, but I knew I needed, I needed help.
I have gone to the hospital when I really, I don't know if I was going to do it, but I knew I needed help.
I don't It's all good. And it's good to cry. When I used to lead communication group on the psych unit, I always felt good. Almost always felt good when people cried during it. Like I never would. I can have these thoughts to myself. Some like the only times I've really felt like, and I would never say this, and but like if somebody's like using tears to manipulate someone else, or just feels like my mom would say crocodile tears, maybe. These crocodile tears, God, I feel like I don't know, like. Just, I think when I get vulnerable when people are being nice to me, and maybe these shows where I don't know, maybe I'm just feeling especially vulnerable right now too. But like, I think the shows where I don't share it widely, and just the people that want to be here are here. But that like. I mean that really, and then I love it. Like, and I love this. Like, I love this. I love the bass. But like, I think like then the echo chamber is supposed to be kind of a misnomer, and you guys, I love it. I love that you're here to welcome new people and like both confound them and help them at the same time. I don't know, like it's. I don't know. I think. Both confound them and help them at the same time. Was it like sticks in a bundle kind of thing, right? Like, and so I don't know. You get like us together, like can, and we all get to mold the message too, right? And us together, we can. As a bundle and a fireside chat can all approve or disapprove a message, the ever-changing message, and I think sharing it to places that are unfriendly is important. Like the dissonant voice, like an echo chamber, like that's what the media is accused of, right? Like everybody falls into, and. The Obama, that's a misnomer for my support for, not a misnomer, but it's there's a lot of misdirection. Like I really kind of disillusioned with politics in general. But I think build expectations to break them, and I expect my expectations to be broken all the time as well. I hope they are. Because for a long time, and you guys are always breaking them, because when I first started talking about having HIV, there wasn't a big rally around me. There wasn't. A couple of friends from long ago reached out. And the response was so negative for something, like it really, I retracted a lot. I don't like. It's just. It's all. I'm good. I have. Coping skill, this is really good. This was really good. Thank you all. And then, like I said, what really, before I had access to this account, it was really hard to go too. I stink. I hadn't showered, but the kids kids were home, and they were on their iPads, and I was just sitting there stewing about the stupid Facebook that I couldn't do anything about. And so I don't know, then I'm like, okay, well, I'll go there, and they, because I couldn't think of what to cook. I couldn't and when we got there, the kids just had so much fun. They really gardening and trying new foods and playing with new toys and trying machetes and axes. That's really. I think weed I killed my dreams for a long time, which I think the benefits outweigh the. Because now I find when I stop smoking for a few days and I start to drink, and I've talked to other people that are what's the word? What was the old-fashioned word when it was a disease? I don't know. What is it? Cannabis dependence? It's like saying you have a dependence on antidepressant. I think very, very similar. I think in some ways it works better for me than Lamictal, and probably is less whatever. I don't know. I'm not that I believe I think a lot of your mental health is about finding ways to cope, and substances are one way to cope. Not that I believe a lot of your mental health is whatever. What am I even talking about? I think I've heard that definitely helps you remember your dreams for sure. If you have something by the bedside. Oh, I remember. I'm gonna finish my thought. When I stop smoking for a few days, it doesn't take long for my dreams to rebound, and that wakes me up. Like you said, you wake up in tears, and it's I don't know. And then maybe I'm just tormented right now. I just feel like my dreams I feel distressed. Well, I was living outside of the house for a year. It was right after I was diagnosed. It was just, I don't know. It wasn't, I don't know. It was probably the best that Laura and I had a little space for that time period, but it ended up being a really negative situation for me. I don't know, and jumping from the fire from the frying pan at the fire, so to speak. And so it was just a really dark year. Yeah, so I don't know, so it was just a really dark year. Yeah, so I don't know, I'm I was gonna look on her timeline when it probably already happened. I was gonna look on her timeline when it probably already happened. I'm just so I think it's paranoia, right? I hope it because hopefully they want I don't know, people to share their memories of Eileen, but I don't want to I don't want to intrude. I just feel I'm and here I am. It's just my own whatever instilled guilt, right? I don't know. And truth be told, she didn't. She was vague about who I was to her. Her dad dropped her off here, but she. all right, whatever. I'm not disparaging. This is just the truth. But she told her dad that I lived alone, and then he must have known that wasn't true because my kids answered the door, and it was totally innocent. We were just we were unlikely friends. But I don't know. I just feel I just feel guilt. I feel this guilt, and like because she commented on the show the night before she died. I don't know, like it's ridiculous. I mean, she's
Because she commented on the show the night before she died. I don't know, like, it's ridiculous.
I only share that because it's such an innocent lie, right? And it's just that and it just she was human as much as she was beautiful, right? And she was shy and scared and young, like. And she kept like both times, but more times the second time she implied that it was going to happen.
But more times the second time she implied that it was going to happen.
It just feels like it's like a sinking, helpless feeling.
Feels like a sinking, helpless feeling.
It just was so unlikely that we ran into each other twice in two separate hospitalizations just by chance. And if we hadn't run into the second time, we wouldn't have cemented a friendship. But like it was like we saw each other again, and it was just like, hey, how's it going? We both liked each other the first time, even.
Like we wouldn't have cemented a friendship. But like it was like we saw each other again, and it was like, hey, how's it going?
And then,
Each other the first time.
and then what really sealed the deal was like she was just like we already had that connection, and she would just hang out here.
And then what really
Like it was before it was up on the cupboards. There's a lot of her commenting. I have to go back and look at that. That's the element of this show, like. Good night, Andrew. Here, let me read you a quick story. It's always so morbid because it's kind of a joke, but I can tell the joke. This is reducing the stigma of suicide. You have to be able to talk about. Like sometimes they say that like it's not even funny. Why am I laughing? That this, because there's 214 pills now to swallow. Like sometimes they say that this is the longest suicide note ever. And I made that, like, I know Eileen heard that joke, but we all like people in the gallows humor. But regardless of suicide or not, our mortality, I think and of course I think about mortality. Everybody thinks about it, but my parents are dead, and I have a few home movies of them. But it's mostly my memories, which are flawed, and I don't know. I think this, regardless of how I go, and someday, unless there's I could be part of the first generation that the first generation that stops dying. It could happen. It's not inconceivable. It's quite conceivable. I just conceived of it. And how would you accomplish that? But as long as, I don't know, the Book of Faith doesn't delete me, or I get some downloaded and I have a few on backup hard drives and some up on the tube of you, there'll always be pills for my kids to swallow. A lot of them will be bitter, right? But when, you know, like, I don't care what my parents would be doing. I would appreciate just to know who they were and on a level that I didn't get to experience. I mean, I got to know them until I was 28, but like I wasted I thought I had a lot more time. I ignored a bunch. I'd go months without seeing them between the ages of 18 and 28. I don't know. I was busy just smoking weed. And what? Smoking weed and eating hot dogs. Did I read you a story yet? Pussy, who is this for again? Alright, I'm trusting. There's no, I can't waste time, right? Is it already spent?
Who is this for again? Alright, I'm trusting.
Pussycat.
Can't waste time, right?
Where have you been?
Is it already spent?
Pussycat.
Pussycat.
Where have you been?
Where have you been?
I've been to London to see the Queen.
Pussycat.
Pussycat.
Where have you been?
What did you there?
I've been to London to see the Queen.
I framed a little mouse under her chair.
Pussycat. What did you there? I framed a little mouse under her chair.
I'll read the description after that. Life is about learning, right? It says, Jason, if your kids were watching this as an adult, what would you say to them? Well, I love you. I love you so much.
Watching this as an adult, what would you say to them?
I love you.
I love you so much. I love you.
I hope we're watching this together on Moonbase Trump. Like, I don't know, I support the president or anybody that gets us to Moonbase, son.
Moonbase Trump. Like, I don't know, I support the president or anybody that gets us to Moonbase, son.
And what? And if I'm not there with you, and I'm not like in the other room or something, I'm like dead or something, I don't even know what else could go wrong. I'm sure a lot. But like, so assuming you miss me, something, I always have loved you since the beginning. You made me happy when I didn't think I could ever be happy again. What does it mean? Mean something you like. Happy or fun. Have fun if you can. Be yourself, for sure. And I hope that somehow that brings you happiness. But I hope that you have the freedom to do whatever it is that you find fun, and the true self inside of you gives you happiness or something.
The true self inside of you gives you happiness or something.
let's see. Let's smoke this bowl. I'm pretty easy on myself. Like I'm always like some part of me is like tries to be the nurse in Jason and be like, Jason, you truly are disabled, like, and you are fine no matter what. If you never get a job again, if you never get on disability, if you are under a bridge, like doing the show for McDonald's, like you are still Jason, and you, like, I don't know, you're doing the best you can. Still Jason, and you, like, I don't know, you're doing the best you can. But at the center of the singularity lies duality and the Trinity, and I don't know, the God in me that is forgiving is also very punishing. Dang it, like he's vengeful, like he's very Old Testament. I don't know where he comes from. I can't imagine. Like, I don't know, my mom and dad were figurative representations of the Old Testament and the New Testament. They were like there's poles. I would say there's poles. Like there's polar opposites in the Catholic Church. Like the American, like what, the American College of Bishops, right, or whatever. They're in the same pole as the Old Testament and the Vatican, like, right? The nuns, the American nuns, and I don't know, 50% of the American, or probably 50% of the world, like they call them cafeteria Catholics, right? Like most of them are pretty New Testament-y. Like, I don't even know what I'm saying. Most of them are pretty but like, yeah. So my mom, my mom is like, you know, she was the Jesus, like, do unto the least of me. Like, I was saying to my friend, like when I was 5 years old, she made me watch all of Roots on VHS, and like, yeah, I think she just wanted me to understand that people, like, well, that bad things happen to people, and I don't think she never wanted to shield me from reality. She didn't shield me from, and she didn't like encourage this. Well, she liked horror movies too, but she went to. But I had a brother that was 11 years older than me and a sister that's 12 years older than me. So when I was 5, they were 16 and 17. So I watched Friday the 13th with like their friends and Nightmare on Elm Street. And then once they'd seen it, like it kind of opened like the gate. And I remember being at IGA, like the grocery store. Baraboo, it's closed now, but you could rent movies there. This is like 86 or something, and Nightmare on Elm Street 2 was out, and I was like, Mom! And I was like real bratty, right? You know, I was always ready for an argument, right? Like, Mom, come on. And she's like, no, it's R-rated. I'm like, Mom, I've seen the first one already. I've seen it. Like, she rented it for me. And she liked horror movies too. Her favorite movie when she was a kid was Birds. Good night, David. Good night to all the look of face that's kind of you. Pleasant dreams. Wait. Giant pine cone. Just in case you had a little bit more energy, that I do have a giant pine cone. Giant pine cone. Just in case you had a little bit more energy, Such a brat. It's like falling in here is like the briar patch or the tar pits or something. I don't know.
Who's the brat? It's
I'm the briar rabbit.
in here's like the
Right.
like the briar patch or the tar pits or something. I don't know.
It is. It's humongous.
Briar rabbit.
I think earlier I want to say that every kindergartner got sent home with one. Every kindergartner got early this year
Earlier, I wanna
got
say
a
that every
giant pine cone.
got
you know,
sent home with one. Every kindergartner got.
people. I guess people that have a bunch of giant pine cones in their backyard. Like, hey, I bet kids would like this. That's what I'm guessing. However, it's cool.
They have a bunch of giant pine cones in their backyard. Hey,
That's what you. That's what they all say.
That's what they all say.
I have the power.
I have the power.
Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. I should. I don't like the remake though. Dang. 60 is what really red? My face probably.
60
I'll just switch off for a while.
is what really red? My face probably.
Well, you can get up. I should start double live and slip out of something comfortable and get uncomfortably.
Well, you can get up, start double live.
Maybe there might be a camera slip up, and who knows? Probably not. It's nudity free. I mean, I try to keep up with community standards.
Nudity free. I mean, I try to keep up with community standards.
No. Well, I mean, it is warm in here. I should probably just put my underwear on. God, you guys got me so worked up. Even my phone's
I
red.
mean, it is warm in here. I should just.
It was in my pocket. Just so you know. I think it's throbbing too.
My phone's red. It was in my pocket. Just so you know. I think it's throbbing too.
Dang it, the heck. Whoa. Dang it, right the heck. We should play the song Make Believe one more time. Right the heck. We should play the song Make Believe one more time. Should we play that song Make Believe one more time? He thinks we should play that song Make Believe one more time. Should we play that song Make Believe one more time? He thinks we should play that song. Jesus, what are you doing here? Shh. My dad made me promise to turn my life towards Jesus. So I do, and I say, get the fuck out of my way.
Dad made me promise.
We got a bunch of us. I don't know. Well, if the rest of some of them want you to tag along, but just fall in line, mister. And your daddy too. Spaghetti Monster have arrived.
Want you to tag along, but just fall in line, mister. And your daddy too. Spaghetti Monster have arrived.
Well, I guess Dad doesn't have any commandments, I guess, but we really rather you didn't. That's there's two lost, because one of the stone tablets was broken on the way down from the mountain, and so the Flying Spaghetti Monsters 10 original I'd rather you didn't. Of those, only 8 survived, which accounts for Pirates' murky moral character. Right? They're not quite sure what they shouldn't do. Most of the I'd rather you didn't cover most of it, but there's some leeway for some interesting stuff. And so I'd rather you didn't. You know, if you abide by them, I think most people. Most of them are like, don't be an asshole, and like, don't tell people that you're talking to me because I don't know, really stop bragging. I'm his son, so I mean, he didn't talk about it, but he's Dad, so what? I don't know, Dad. I can't do what I want. So I think one of the I'd rather you didn't would be like, I'd rather you didn't, this is already covered in there. You can't, Jesus, you can follow Jesus, just don't get out of line with it, basically. Like, rather you didn't use it to subjugate me or anyone else and shit. Anyway, what do I do? I'm showering. Here I am. I am an analyst. Now. I don't. My show causes rifts everywhere I go, I guess. But so I used to be an admin, but now I'm an analyst. That's kind of a result of the show, I guess. But perhaps my own behavior. Who knows? Like, I'll try not to find blame. Probably not. Though who knows? It's my personal life. Whatever. Anyway, I'm not here to. What am I talking about? So, yeah, I can spread the word of this is the way I think the This is, if I analyze the future of evangelical Pastafarianism, this is how you should talk about the flying spaghetti monster. That's my full analysis. But I'm just one noodle among a whole dish. Why am I such a bitter person? I think right now I'm just feel like I'm still lots of people that tell me I'm too sensitive. And I say I don't think there is such thing as too sensitive. What was I doing down here? Playing make believe. This is so depressing. I don't think there is such thing as too sensitive. Alright, let's go play make believe. Yeah, it's like something like this is improved, but like I'm the weirdest person, I swear. Like, especially the first several times I had sex, or I came in somebody after I was diagnosed with HIV. I would cry right after. You know, like cry during, after sex. I guess it's kind of like, I don't know, it's sexy, and I go, like I don't know, some sort of quasi emo, what, furry. I don't know what. And then, so what? Like, life it's weird. Life is weird. Anyway, it's awkward. Like, well, you know, even before the HIV, like I learned to appreciate awkward sex. Like I'd always been in serial monogamous relationships with women for the first 35 years, and then all of a sudden, like, the world of hookups was open to me, and it was like a kid in a candy store. And I don't like hookups was open to me. It was like a kid in a candy store. But it's so I'm a supremely awkward person, so I don't know. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. And there's a steep learning curve. There's a steep learning curve. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. To I don't know. I guess I should have just typed HIV in the Google search box, and I could have had almost as much fun with, I don't know, still a lot of worry, but not the fear of, like, even the sex wasn't fun before. Like, sex is kind of more fun with the HIV because I don't have to. I was so afraid of getting HIV before. I don't know, cat's out of that bag. Well, I mean, and plus, it's not like it's not the end of my life the way I thought it was either. It's not. It didn't, and it's not even the end of my social life the way I thought it was. It's not the end of my life the way I thought it was. Totally. I don't know. I don't know if I've told you this, Kim. But like, I do like it's like a a twist on the like turn on to like tune off and drop out. Like I say, turn off this, tune out of this show, turn off your device, drop into the echo chamber. Like the social experiment is like, bring people in here, right in here.
The social experiment is like, bring people in here, right in here.
And like everything, I love the triple or quadruple entendre. Like especially if you just like, I really like I don't know, I write phonetically, where I, like sometimes if I like really wanted to be like the Riddler or something, right? I don't know. Basically, when I want to like troll somebody who's being mean to me or someone else, and they're like, if they call you stupid, act stupider. That's one of my tactics. Like, you always got to mix up your tactics if they don't work. Right? Just bob and weave. You gotta bob and weave your trolls and spin yarns around them. And
you gotta bob and weave your trolls and spin yarns around them.
So two people, but you have to promise me one thing though. No one slaps me. So it's not likely, and this I think it's rare instance. But one of the first two people came to visit, and I'd known them for a couple years. And not like it was early on in the show, but I'd known them from disco, and like they didn't come here to do bad, but like just no one. That's the thing. No one ever has bad intention. But he bitch slapped me, and my lip was gushing blood. It was like really like this is like why I keep everybody on one side of the glass. And no, I really do, and I really do also say drop in, and I want people here. Like I'm not gonna live my life by one instance of fear. I'm not gonna I'm not even afraid of him. Like I want to forget. He's like it's just like shitty things happen. No live show. Well, no one has to be. Well, I have to take my pill. I could do that under the. I could do that in the bathroom real quick. What? Can there be a live show off of Facebook? Can there be a live? All right, now this is just going to sound dirty because it is. Can there be a live show on my face, but off of Facebook? No, this is terrible. This is really I can't. Dang it, Dak.
No, this is terrible. This is really I can't.
And you. I just. No, I want you to say it, but I'm telling myself to shh. I ask because I want. Dang it, Dak. But I don't know. I remember listening to all the girls in high school, in junior high, and the girls in movies and stuff too.
I remember listening to all the girls.
Like I hear them talking about how gross they think erections are. So I know that like girls pretty much just don't like penises, I guess. I was so gullible. The things that kids believe. For the here the longest time, like I was stuck in this corner on the wallflower. I didn't know I could get sex. Like the only thing you need to get sex, you just have to trade words. You can exchange words for sex. Words, that's it. Like you give people words, and they give you. I was dumbfounded. I'm like, You want to hear me talk about my penis? Really? God, that makes my dick hard.
I was dumbfounded. I'm like, you want to hear me talk about my penis? Really? God, that makes my
The things that like we teach in this culture. Abstinence only. Babies come from storks.
the things that like
And
teach in this culture. Abstinence
what happened?
only,
Well,
babies come from storks.
not everybody has the same anatomy when they're born.
Well,
Um,
not everybody.
some people are born missing
the same
just the basic parts, but like they're the difference between
born missing
traditionally male and female
just
genitalia
but, like, the
are really quite minor.
the difference between traditionally male and
The
female
the clitoris is the glands. It has a foreskin, very similar to the tip of the penis, and the clitoris serves as the tip of a penis that's internal on a woman. And I'm sure most guys and probably women that are familiar with penises have looked at them really closely. There's like two separate chambers on each side, like they call that the spongiform tissue, and it fills with blood. In a woman, like a female gendered person, the tip, the glands is the clitoris, and then that spongiform tissue goes in, and one half of it wraps around one side of the vaginal canal, and the other half wraps around the other vaginal canal. And so effectively, when like the female penis gets an erection, it tightens her vagina. And I don't know, when I read that, I think I read that originally on Jezebel, but that's like based on these MRI studies done by, I don't know, the NIH or something, right? Like in the study it talks about how in the past, I mean, this is new information about the female anatomy, because like in the past the studies were done on cadavers that had, and the delicate tissues like were just destroyed, and elderly cadavers that had given birth. Like the new studies were done with MRIs on young women before they ever had given birth, and so yeah, women have a penis too. And when I read that, like, it was like an inspiration for me for performing cunnilingus, right? Just like, well, now I know where the basic parts are at. Like, I just reach in there and rub the inside of my wife's vagina. I've had sex with one other woman since I learned that, and since I became polyamorous, I guess, like 80 or 90 guys, but whatever. Like, who keeps score? And then, what the heck am I talking about? So, yes. So then, like, okay, so just get in there and like touch the parts that you like, because like I know how I want my penis touched. So I just sort of get as close to that, like touch all of the parts where they should, like, right. That's how it's. I don't know. Helps to have a picture in my mind. Science. Science. I am excited. I'm excited for this. I am excited. I am excited just that you were talking about wanting to have sex with me in public. That's like, that's almost as good as, like, because right away after I have sex, like, I want to go tell somebody. I want to take pictures and show the world. But that's not always practical. This is like the laurels without the work, or without the argument with people. My wife in particular, no, she's, it's not, like, things are so much, like, things are better now. Things are better, like, I don't know, like, my wife in particular, no, she's, like, it's not, like, things are so much, like, things are better now. Things are better, like, I don't know, like, we both agree that life is better than it has been in a long time, even though things are really shitty, like, things between us are. We both agree that life is, David, like, what would an exhibitionist do without voyeurs? Kim will scratch my back and other things, and I'll scratch hers, and you can watch us do those scratchings. Rigorous scratching. Well lubed is to prevent skin irritation. Rigorous scratching. Well lubed is to prevent skin irritation. Yes. I don't know. And it's, and I'm being completely shameless, and some people would argue it's gratuitous, but no, I think Kim and I both know this is advancing a serious cause. It's important to know that life after HIV does not mean life after sex. This is serious social science. Serious social science. Ding! I have so many good excuses for my bad behavior. Like, my parents hated it once. I had rhetoric class in high school with Mr. Reed. Mr. Reed is sort of famous and an infamous teacher for generations in Baraboo. And he's my friend now too. Like, it's cool. I really, I don't know. Anyway, so okay. I always looked up to, like, we used to talk in study hall. He did one of my study, like supervised one of my study halls. We used to talk about antiques, and he and my dad both were into antiques. I used to tell him about this phonograph, and he used to listen to the stories about. He knew all about my mom, and I don't know, like, yeah, it's just like, anyway, my parents, like, jokingly, because, like, they know how much I loved him too, like, I get, what was I gonna say? Because I had him for before rhetoric in English 10, I had him for which is a literature, a lit comp class, I think, or something. But he read us Hamlet, and I sort of fell in love with Shakespeare. And for Christmas, I think that was my 16th or Christmas or whatever. They got bought me the complete works of Shakespeare, and I don't know, like, so, like, they knew, like, and then in rhetoric class was just like rhetoric 1, the first semester, was all about logical fallacies, and so and it was the Clinton Dole campaign. This was 96, right? That would have been, yeah. And we'd look at their Trump, their not Trump speeches. Like, what do they call this? Whatever. Like, their speeches and pick out all the different logical fallacies. Well, first we had to remember verbatim the definitions of like 25 or 30 logical fallacies, like appeal to authority, appeal to pity, appeal,
the definitions of like 25 or 30
begging the question. I don't know I forget. Like, circulus improbando. I don't know. So, and then once we had to memorize it, we had to go through all the speeches, and then also like different newspaper articles, like right wing, neutral or centrist and liberal, and then like look at their articles and pick out all the logical fallacies, and just show that no matter what side people are on, they can use words to manipulate you. And this is the end. That's the end. Okay. Got transported to a beach. Life's a beach. I can't tell you how glad I am to be back with you people tonight. And if I ever disappear again, like, know that like, and if anybody's ever looking for me, you can tell that I would never block anybody. I don't have anyone blocked, and I would never block anybody on purpose. And if I'm gone, it's because my account got taken down for some reason. I think I have friends that I trust that are in charge of Jason as a social scientist, that are admin behind me. So like, you can always, that page should go down whether this account's there. So I think that and YouTube, you can always find me. Anyway, this is Jason as a social scientist. By Mouth Daily. Pill number 214. The pill is Triamec. It's a once-a-day pill containing 3 medications: abacavir, dolutegravir, and lamivudine. Together they work in concert to suppress the replication of the HIV virus within my system. I take the medication live on the Book of Faith in front of friends, family, and strangers daily in order to embrace stigma, dispel ignorance, and find support. And it's something I've really grown to depend on. I can't tell you how much you all mean to me, and what being here means to me, and the welcome and the support. It gives me it gives me the desire to want to get out of bed in the morning, and it gives me the courage to get up here. And if anybody's, you know, like, I wouldn't block anybody. I sometimes accidentally have blocked people. It's really easy to do down the hatch. When you're live, if I go up there and touch a button, comment, a pop-up will say, do you want to block this? Do you want to either do you want to make it the best comment, or do you want to kick this person to the road or cancel? And if I'm like just fumbling with it,
do you want to make it the best comment, or do you want to kick this person to the road or cancel? And if I'm like just fumbling with it.
There once was a man from Nantucket. He had so much luck.
There once was a man from Nantucket. He had so much.
He made it
luck.
Really far on a buck, and just two sucks. What, I don't even know that. How far will it suck at you in life? Sometimes pretty far. I don't even know. Like,
and just two sucks.
I don't know what people are buying or selling or paying these days. Anyway, Kim, Dang it, that Hayak. All right. That was. I don't know. That was a really poor bastardization of a cliched dirty joke from the late 20th century. I don't even know. All right, I love you. Goodbye, everybody.